True.
Yeah, see? Hi, guys.
Oh, hi.
So we're just gonna get ourselves labbed up for the live stream. Hey guys, welcome to Casters and Cantrips. That was very exciting. I'm sorry. You're like, it's happening to us. Yay! Welcome. Thank you so much for coming tonight. We really, really appreciate you being here with us for our very first inaugural adventure. Indeed, quite. This is my excited hand temple. Yes, I'm Ann Richmond. I am the host of Active Player Network. We are putting. Oh, thank you. Thank you. You may applaud. Thank you so much, audience plant and Amy. So welcome to the show. We are very excited to do this in conjunction with the Cauldron. As you can see, they have an incredible space here, and it is truly a pleasure to get to play right here with all of you in this evocative environment. We are a channel that does how to play videos, let's play videos. We do interviews with luminaries in the gaming community in our player character series, so make sure you go home, check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and all of that jazz. But tonight we're doing something very special. We're telling a story together, but we're also telling a story with all of you. We're going to talk a little bit about how you can get involved with what madness will surely ensue up here at this table. So in front of you, sharing with your friends, you will be looking at our little menu of torturous things you can do to us via a few different things. You received flasks with your you received favor tokens with your ticket. Should you order any food or drinks, more favor tokens come with those. So definitely make sure you check in with Olivia, our fabulous server. Yay, Olivia! Yay! And she will be sure to bring you victuals and delicious dungeon goodies throughout the show, along with the means of our destruction. for sure. So 4 flasks. Miles, would you hold up one of those for me, please?
Here are our flasks.
Indeed. So by donating to your favor to one of the players that you see up here, and we will tell you more about who we are and who we are playing in just a moment, you will be able to unlock certain flask abilities. Follow along with your handout, if you will. So 1 flask costs 5 favors. That allows for tonight a success on any roll. For 2 flasks, which cost 10 favors, they will gain the maximum spell effect for any healing or damaging abilities, and we are all playing magical characters of some means. And for 3 flasks, we unlock our ultimate ability. This costs 20 favors. The idea here is that you will all work together to enact these special moments in our storytelling canon. And for 4 flasks, we call this an overflow. And when that happens, and we use these 4 flasks to use our ultimate ability, we also do the overflow chaos chart created by our very own Miles Duffield. You will get to roll a d10, and a horrible effect will accompany the use of said flask. The last thing that we will be asking you guys to participate in does not involve favor tokens. It involves your wands of wonder. You see them in the boxes before you. Yes, very, very fun. Yes, thank you. Cue the ghosts. So yes, those are in front of you on your table. Feel free to get in the spirit, take them out. They are very exciting. Every once in a while, Miles here will call for a wand vote when he is trying to decide what to do to us. And you all will be in charge of the manner of our almost certain demise. So that is basically it. Anybody have any questions? Good. Let us. I was like, questions count to 3, moving on. For you, my friend. Oh wait, actually, this is for Deanna. Would you mind handing this to our moderator of mischief back here, Deanna?
Way more interactive than you made.
Yeah, way more interactive. We're a family here at Casters and Cantrips. And we're going to go ahead and introduce ourselves. As you know, I'm Anne Richmond. I play Portia, fair, a doctor and artificer of great renown, potentially.
It's going to me. I'm Dexter. I play Jin Verdenscale, a Dragonborn Ranger who's just trying to do his best.
Fantastic.
Cool. That's appropriate. Hi, I'm Chris. I am playing Donovaine de Monet by Genasi, bard extraordinaire and actual playwright of renown.
So he says.
And you cannot refute that.
It's true.
Hi guys, my name is Amy Chrzanowski. I'm playing Leiya Lee, and I am a half-orc paladin who really, really, really likes magic and plants. So we'll see where that takes us.
And last but certainly not
Thank you all
least.
for the claps. And I'm Miles Duffield. I'm going to be running the game tonight, and I'm going to be torturing these terrible people, and you all are my friends and allies in it. Yeah, come on in.
Come on in,
All
take
right.
a seat, join us. Yes, applause for you too. Everybody gets us.
Yes.
And with that,
Are we
take
ready?
it away.
Shall we?
We shall.
Yeah.
All right.
Alright.
So it's a cold, especially cold, bitter, early fall night in Manhattan. Summer came late, as it just did, and as fall comes, it comes with a special bitterness, a unique kind of bite. Or maybe it's because summer lasted too long and we didn't really want it to go when it finally did, though we were all bitching about it. Or maybe it's because it is actually colder, or maybe there's something else in the air. But the 4 of you are all emerging from one activity or another downtown, somewhere near here, somewhere in Fai'Dai, somewhere maybe in Chinatown, right? You know what, let's go around and say what each of us were doing. You're in New York, right? Why don't we start with you, Portia?
Yeah, so Dr. Portia keeps to herself a ton. She lives in a small apartment in Chinatown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. probably lots of light and lots of mess.
Totally.
Yeah.
So you're emerging out into the night. Are you going home? Where do you work?
Yeah, I lost my job uptown
Oh, great.
recently due to what some might call insanity, others might call a drive to find out the truth about whether or not magic is close to science.
Okay.
Yeah, people uptown at Columbia didn't really like that too much. So I've been spending a lot of time at home looking for people who might listen to my mad ravings and
Fantastic.
that kind of thing.
What are you doing out tonight?
So out tonight, it's been, man, just so depressing and frustrating, so close to something that's just kept me on the edge of my seat. And I finally decided, I need to get some fresh air, go for a walk, see people, and just kind of take in some fresh air, I think.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So you're out for a walk. Dexter.
Well, I finished work early at the library, and I thought, it's a nice evening. Might as well listen to the Goldfinger soundtrack as Dame Shirley Batsy, my bat, is just snuggling in my shoulder.
You own a bat.
I do.
Okay.
Named
There it is.
Dame Shirley Batsy.
Dame Shirley Batsy.
Yeah.
There we
Great
go.
little evening.
There we go. Fantastic. And you're going home. Where do you live?
I live in Brooklyn because I cannot afford to live in
I
Manhattan.
live in Brooklyn. Cool. So you're going the subway. Fantastic.
What time of night is it?
Let's say it's like 10 o'clock, so it's like later.
Okay.
Right?
So at this point,
I don't know what you were doing at the library.
It was an evening.
Organizing.
So Donovaine, is now recently departing a bar where he has been regaling some of his adoring fans as to the writing process of his Tony-nominated play, The Voice of the Turtle, which was about 2 years since. He hasn't written anything new in that part. So there are some things in the works. There's definitely some things in the works. But no, he's just come from regaling his adoring fans, signing the autographs, the somewhat falling apart now playbills, and departing the bar where one of his friends named the popular drink the Donovaine de Merlot after him. It's just a glass of Merlot.
How drunk are you?
He's shockingly sober. This is kind of just him.
Someone so successful. Yeah. I have to level with you.
Yes.
How legitimately successful is this, and how much of that was in character?
So,
because I don't know
part
the
of it's
circumstances.
no, the play was legitimately successful. He hides the fact that it was only nominated. He tries to make it like it won because it's the best play. Who cares? Nobody pays attention to
The
that.
best play. What kind of play was it?
It was a two-person play about the adoption of a pet turtle which gains sentience. Hence the voice. Hence the voice of the turtle.
Great.
Yes.
All right.
Madness
That
conceived.
is wild.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Stumbling home. This is the craziest.
It's great.
All right, here we go.
I actually live in Astoria and I work for the Central Park Conservatory. I help them out with events and filmings.
All right.
But my mom recently just was diagnosed with cancer, so I'm trying to help her out. And I went down to Chinatown to get some herbs to maybe help alleviate some uncomfortableness as she's going through chemo. And then I just wanted some stress food, so I just went to go get some dumplings, which
Delightful.
probably
Nice.
sounds really Asian kind of. So
I mean, Portia would be into the dumplings too.
yeah,
You gotta
I
eat.
mean,
I kinda love
dumplings.
You do.
We're all getting
dumplings now.
The idea of you getting drugs in Chinatown at 10 o'clock at night for your mom has me a little bit.
I mean, they're like herbs.
No, they're herbs,
Let's
absolutely.
be real here about the.
So you had dumplings. It must have been a large dumpling. intake? How did that stretch out until 10 o'clock?
Well, because I work in Central Park, so
and
you
then
have to
they
go
pick
all the way
up.
back downtown. You have to
Fantastic.
go to the store,
All right.
and then you're like, I didn't eat dinner, so I guess
Figuring
I'm
out the
just
logic
gonna go
here,
to
right?
Right.
Which is really the most important
Yes.
part.
Priorities.
So you're all wandering through this lower part of Manhattan. The skyscraper is stretching up above, and as you continue walking, you find yourself being redirected off your usual path. A crazy guy screaming about something that you don't want to engage in, construction, and at the same time, this mist is kind of creeping in. Which is really abnormal for New York at night, right? Well, a little bit of mist in the morning, but this mist is starting to creep in, and it's like a heavy, cold mist that is trying to bite its way through your clothes and into your very selves. And you keep getting misdirected back and forth.
Misdirected?
Misdirected. There it is.
Thank you.
And you wander, trying to find your way, find yourself lost in these strange old streets that happen down here, until suddenly you find yourself walking and you feel cobblestones under your feet. And the mist has closed in around you so that you can only see 10 feet in front of you, the street lights glowing that kind of cool, warm glow through it. And as you walk forward, you find that you're on Stone Street, which you've never been to. All of the chairs, though, that make it so recognizable, at least to me, it's constantly covered in umbrellas and chairs and the signs of people having a good time. But it's entirely empty on this Friday night at 10 o'clock. And you notice that there's only 3 other people on the street with you. Well, no, 4 other people. The last one is dressed in black, or is he dressed by the shadow? It's a little strange to tell, and that little bit of oddness kind of sends your brain with the mist kind of elongating and stretching as you try to take in. Why don't we talk about what each of you look like real quick?
Sure.
Right? What do you?
Yeah, so Portia is kind of Dr. Goth as an aesthetic. She did not really fit in with a lot of the other staff up at Columbia. She specializes in computer engineering and the construction of robotic and prosthetic limbs, which she actually does have. She does not have her right hand from the elbow down, but even though that's something that she's proud to contribute to, there's still an aspect of her that doesn't want that to be the first thing that people look at. So she tends to wear longer sleeves. In this case, she has a gray hoodie on with a long black overcoat over that, and kind of pulls her sleeves down over her right fist, that way that people do when they're cold, but also there's a purpose to it. And she has just this ridiculous Khaleesi white hair with teal roots, and lots of freckles across the bridge of her nose, and very thick hipstery glasses, piercings. It's a time.
All right, fantastic. Great. You're up next. I'm getting signals that we cannot be heard in that direction.
Sure.
So we're all going to speak up.
Yeah.
As
You
we're
got
running
it.
this space.
Wonderful. Yes, so Dragonborn, how's that working?
You're a human.
Wonderful,
this is your New York
fantastic.
person.
Okay, so I misspoke.
Oh, now.
Before, yes. My New York person is Winston, who happens to have a pet bat named Shirley Batsy. Winston is wearing a green hoodie. He's about 5'11", and wearing jeans, much like the ones I'm wearing, because I like jeans. And it's a little cold, so definitely have a hoodie, listening to music,
Hoodie life.
just enjoying the evening, the night.
Fantastic. Beautiful.
All right.
Donovaine.
Donovaine has long, about shoulder-length black hair and a cavalier-style Van Dyke mustache and facial hair. They're going, yes. Yes. He is wearing a red silk shirt. Looks very expensive, and an orange waistcoat over that. Is wearing tight leather trousers.
Oh my.
And is wearing a long flowing coat that he's clearly visibly shivering, but does not pull the coat close because he wants everyone to see how fabulously expensive his clothes are.
Got it.
And he's also carrying
Fantastic.
a black walking cane because he thinks that makes him look even fancier.
Got it.
Great.
That's my first thought.
That's
That's it. So she's totally business casual. We had a long day meeting with clients. Nice black pants, nice blue power shirt. Thank you very much. Hair pulled up in like a really tight bun. Kind of like small speckled glasses on, and a little like briefcase on the side. And she is like walking with a purpose.
Fantastic. Yes.
Before we continue, I realize now that so many more of you are here, hello, by the way.
Welcome, everybody.
Welcome to the family. Back here, our Mischief of Moderation, Deanna, will take any of your favor tokens. So if you do want to turn in the one that is not for your drink, feel free to get up, move over. You can move in front of us. It is okay. Don't worry about it. And hand them to her so that she can assign them to us and get some flasks out on the table if that is something that you would like to do. Onward.
Fantastic. So the fifth person in the street is, as I said, kind of cloaked in the darkness, like the shadows from the lights almost wrap up around them and wrap over their face so that you can't see anything but just the flicker of a white smile underneath it.
How white? Like teeth or like...
It's like crust strips.
Please to be more specific.
Yeah.
Like brushes 3 times a day,
That's impressive.
flosses
Yeah.
twice.
Oh.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Oh,
not
I
mad
just
at it.
wishes I
Yeah.
had.
Nope. I used to have a Spanish teacher brushed in between every class, but he had braces, and no braces here. Just
Okay.
teeth.
Oh.
All right.
Thank you for that clarification. Thank you. That was very
And then so you
important.
like come along your different ways, maybe crossing each other along the street. It speaks and says, "Welcome, welcome, travelers 3. Found you, have I, or we?"
No.
What?
Stranger danger.
Exactly. Not no.
Yep.
Just to help me set the scene in my head,
Yes.
how visible is Dame Shirley Batsy right now?
I mean, she's in my hood, just kind of like.
Okay.
So
chilling
she's
out.
hiding. She's
yeah,
hiding.
she's
Yeah.
hiding. You don't know
Okay.
she's there.
She's
She's
not
just
about
a
this
skin.
one.
No.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, she's cold.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Actions, questions?
I definitely undo my earbuds and I say, "What? What's going on? What'd you say?"
Blinded by endless sound, now you can look around. See what has been lost to you. Find the 1, the 2, the 2.
I don't know that you know how to do math, sir.
You're all here for a reason. Related to the season. And space. Yes.
I'm just so pleased. Okay, continue.
Now, listen, I appreciate that you are. I mean, clearly you've sought me out for help with your prose, which you so desperately need. But I am afraid, just on the streets. No, this is a little uncalled for. If you would set up a time with my assistant, I would be more than happy to give the assistance that you are.
I'm
clearly
sorry.
searching
Who
for.
are you?
Who am I?
Retweet.
You actually said that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Out loud.
Yep.
You realize we can hear you saying that.
That. Yep. Because I agree. What? Who are you?
We could hear more if something of substance
Bicker,
came out
bicker,
of your
bicker, bicker as the plot. It does get thicker.
Oh, please.
like a mobile Shakespeare.
Oh, is this Shakespeare in the Park?
Oh, yeah, but the park's that way, and they closed
Right,
the down.
right.
The smile like kind of flickers, and he's like,
I'm sorry, I don't
Damn
carry
New Yorkers.
I don't carry cash. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
God, I'm gonna kill you first. And in your like bickering with each other and with the city and with the night, it spreads itself, and these wings expand out from it that are made of like steel and glass and bits and pieces of stone and weave together.
There's
with
a lot
roots.
of like bleep, 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 bleep out of my mouth
Exactly.
as I
And
back across the street.
as wind begins to blow through the street and the mist begins to clear, it howls streets to smoke and sea to ash, tongues that taste and teeth that gnash, roots that reach squirming through the trash, then lash, the lash, the lash, the lash, ravenous, malign, the real is blurred, fire and brimstone. I've lost my place. Scales and furs! Something long forgotten, it stirs. The cauldron bubbles and burns. And then the door, standing opposite of all of you, slams open, and these roots begin to grow out of it, stretching out towards you slowly, bit by bit, and the thing beats its wings, and the wind carries you off and through the door and into green. These roots wrapping you up, trapping you inside of their grasp as you feel your breath being squeezed out of you, and then silence, but silence wrapped in the feeling of being pushed out of a helicopter in a body bag.
Oh my God.
Super specific. Thank you.
That's definitely relatable. That's
So that's a Tuesday.
It's a Monday, and boom, you land, hit something, but it doesn't hurt nearly as much as it should. And you're no longer encased. You're free, and you begin to. I see Anne going. I must do something.
I'm feeling it free. Feeling my freedom.
Your eyes open, and you see light suddenly much brighter than it was. It seems like sunlight pouring in through stained glass windows, and there's this like pungent smell that is like a little bit bitter and coppery, and then you realize that it's some kind of alcohol. It's like cinnamony, and you're a little bit wet, and as you like come to, you realize that you're on the floor of some kind of bar. There are people dressed in weird costumes all around, and a unicorn head is pouring some kind of water out onto you in like spurts as it like throws it up.
Like
And the
live
unicorn head
one?
is like moving.
Okay.
It's like very good animatronics, clearly.
Oh my God, they're larpers.
Is that, how did they make that? And I go over to the unicorn head and I try to get a better look at the mechanical features.
Absolutely. Why don't you make an investigation check? First roll of the game!
Yay! I'm a part of this.
I'm done talking at you for a little bit.
Alright.
Which set of dice to use?
I don't know, they're all so special. That's a natural one.
Starts, we need to go on.
Oh, all right. This is it. I could not have hoped for a better
Cool.
start.
Thanks.
I mean, and it makes absolute and complete sense because you walk up to it and your first
Yeah.
instinct as an inventor is to touch it, see
Yeah.
what it's made of, and it's warm. It's warm and furry, and it worse reacts and like spits more alcohol up into your face.
Yeah. I reach up with my right hand to like wipe it on my sleeve, and as I look down,
And it's different.
yeah, I look down and I kind of do a double take and I quickly push my sleeve up, and I see that instead of my prosthetic, there's just brass and bits and bobs and cogs and tubing filled with bright green liquid that's pumping through the rest of my hand.
Yes, exactly. And it's so far ahead of me. All of you, the next thing that you probably notice is that you've changed, and we should probably re-describe ourselves now. As you are no longer the people, humanoids that you once were. We'll talk about it.
I would describe myself as a humanoid, but
Yeah.
of a very different complexion. I am now, as I take in the rest of the change, finding that I am this deep kind of dark lavender color, and I am now a half elf of the Drow persuasion. Yes. So all of my freckles remain this dark purple. My glasses are actually now goggles, so everything looks very green at first, and then I think this is very different, but then I move them up on top of my head. The rest of me is pretty much the same. Yeah. Has our clothing changed?
Yeah.
Oh, JK's, it's not.
Yeah.
It's totally
I
okay.
mean, you're
So,
wearing armor, right?
Yeah, so I am just like covered in chainmail, like a tunic of chainmail. I have a pauldron on my left shoulder. Everything is just flask upon flask of different potions and liquids. And as I switch my arm around, I see some buttons and runes that light up, and I push them, and out pop wands on either side. And I just take in my curious new circumstances, a little bit terrified, but that terror that breeds wonderment and much excitement.
Great. Let's go the opposite way this time.
Okay, so I'm looking down at my skin, and it's not like elf of a green, which would still make me really excited, but it's this kind of like light green, and it's weird because I feel my face and realize I don't have glasses on, which is a really weird feeling to like look and be like, oh my god, I don't need anything to see. And I kind of look, and it's longish brown hair and just like brown leather armor, and I just feel very like short and stocky and powerful, which is something I don't think I've ever really felt before. And I just see the poor unicorn, and I'm just like gasp and like run over and just hug it, because I'm like, what is going on? This is like all of my childhood dreams. Can I have this unicorn? Like, how do I get this unicorn? Where is it coming from? Is it a she? Is it a he? Is this inappropriate? Should I be like, hi, may I like pet your flowing mane? Like, what is happening right now? I'm really excited.
Fantastic.
Sorry.
This is
Probably
Chris.
inappropriate.
All right. So his skin tone is now an ashen gray. His physical features have not changed all that much. His hair is still styled very much the same, a little longer now, although his facial hair, regular hair, and his eyes are all now flame red. He is now a fire genasi. His physical form has shifted as being a guy who has basically been drinking away other people's money for the last 2 years. He has now shifted to be almost unhealthily thin. He's growing a little taller. He's about 6'3" in height, and his clothing has shifted. The style is actually very much the same. Instead of his finely crafted silk shirt, he instead now has one of those fluffy, like vampire-style cravats.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's the puffy shirt!
It is the puppy shirt.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
He is still wearing the a long overcoat, although the overcoat is now made of a heavy leather, and he still has the impossibly tight leather pants. He also still has
Consistent across
It is
dimensions.
Never
he
change.
has an aesthetic, and he does still have the walking cane, although the cane itself now does have a switch on
Fantastic.
Wow. I get up off of the floor, feeling like I sat on my keys, but I guess that's a sword now, so that's different. That wasn't there before. And I lift up my arm, and I'm like, oh, huh, that's green, and scaly. I have scales. Oh God, what has happened? So then I look for a mirror or something as I'm touching my face, and then I realize that I don't have hair. I have these frills now, which, great, that's cool, that's a thing. Rolling with it. Definitely freaking out a bit as my clothes feel a lot heavier. I'm wearing leather now, which never done that before, so that's a first.
Like
and-
many things.
Like many things. I've also never been scaly before, so that's cool. I think I have claws or fingernails. Not sure. Don't know what to call them. I have, instead of where my hoodie was, I feel these brown and autumn colored leaves as a mantle, which don't hate it. Don't hate it. But it's a lot to take in. Do I see Dame Shirley Batsy anywhere?
Yeah, Dame Shirley Batsy like crawls underneath your arm.
Hey, girl.
And she's significantly larger.
Oh boy. Oh, hey. You, those are big, what big teeth you have. We're gonna unpack that later.
There's a head, and it's vomiting liquor.
For the record,
Where
I'm
is
still-
the rest of it?
Why? It's a unicorn. Like,
I'm still on the floor for the record. They just have not moved. just kind of taking this in and thinking, oh no, this.
Check, please. Check, please.
So you guys like look around and everyone is just as bewildered by your presence as you are by all of them, and they're of a myriad shapes and sizes, different colors, different creatures, and closest to you is standing this woman wearing cat ears. No, this cat-like woman. This woman with cat ears, yes, who is looking at you just absolutely horrified with these big single-slitted eyes. And she says, "Copper, people fell out of the tree and now they're weird and looking at me weird." And she turns away and slowly starts to shrink down, all of her clothes disappearing inside of herself before she turns into a cat and leaps up onto a ledge that's built into the tree that indeed these heads are built out of.
I just sit on the floor. Because that is a whole thing.
And she watches you suspiciously.
Yeah.
I reach inside my coat and try and feel around for an item that was there in New York. I assume did not travel with us. It's a bottle of medication.
That's a good question. You know what? Did the medication come with him to this other dimension, or did it not? Wands up for yes? Nope. We're gonna try it again because there's an adjustment period.
I also think
understand.
there were a number of people who arrived late and did not get the wand explanation.
Yeah.
There it is.
So-
Great. And some people may not have wands, and I believe we have some spare wands that we can share as well.
Yes.
And I'll take hands for now.
They're in the box.
So occasionally I will be asking the audience for help making decisions, right, when I'm not sure. And I'll be doing that as such. Do we want? Oh, we have spare wands over here. We can pass them.
yeah.
Take one down and pass it
Here we
around.
go.
Once again, call
I'm
me
attached to
Cantrips.
this
A
table,
family
or I would
experience.
come back.
Yes. Thank you.
This one though.
So, do we want Donovaine
Oh, is this you took it?
medication to have traveled with him into this other world? Wands up for yes. 1, 2, 3. That's still overwhelmingly negative.
Yeah.
Screw all of you.
How do we make it yes but a mimic?
Yes.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah. That's amazing.
We're gonna stick
We're
with
level 3.
We don't know that yet.
What are levels?
Say that
What
again.
do we know?
The mimic medication is just a placebo. All right, so it's not there.
Okay.
Donovaine.
So you just reach in and just sit up and just kind of. Oh God.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. Oh God. You are.
What?
You look green and big. And what happened to you? Oh God. That's.
Well, you're smoky, so
I'm always smoking. It's just that's how I look.
you know what? That's fair.
You just
that
said
hair,
that you don't
though.
know. What about my head? What?
It's all.
Oh,
It's
God.
lovely. I mean,
Yeah,
all
no,
the
I mean it's
shade,
great.
Yeah.
It's not to be rude. Yeah, it's great. It's new.
What is happening?
All right, this is the new normal.
Is it?
This is
Where
it.
are we?
Nothing about this is normal.
She
We
turned
have
into
to
a cat.
function. We have to function.
Dude.
That's it. This is who we are. I'm just going with it.
He has a. That is a big bat.
You know,
And
I,
it's
Oh my
on
God!
I think she's docile. She's great.
How are you okay with this?
I mean, she just turned into a cat. I'm suddenly green and have scales. You're fiery now, so it's a lot to take in, honestly.
It's a
That's
lot
fair.
to take
Yeah.
in.
Wait, I'm sorry. Who are you?
Who are you?
That's a great question.
A loaded question.
Are you copper?
No.
Okay. I don't know. They
Do I look like a copper? She's a black cat.
Oh,
Oh, so the cat's
you're
talking?
the cat's talking.
The
Yes.
cat is
Oh,
talking.
I didn't realize the cat was talking.
Great, we
Yeah.
figured it out. The cat is talking to you.
Okay,
Yes.
just kidding. Rewind. Oh, hi.
Like everything's fine. That's still fine.
Yep.
Does that not work here?
I don't know.
What not work here?
Rewind.
No, we're fine.
Yeah, we're
yeah.
good. Oh, that's great.
Okay. Awesome.
We figured it out. Do I look like a copper?
You look like a cat, so that's what I know about you. Now, where is this that we are in at the now time that we are in?
Are you in that bar in New
This
York
is
City?
the Cauldron.
Good.
Where did you
Okay.
come from?
New York, where
Yeah.
did you come from,
Where's
cat?
New York?
Outside.
In the
Or he,
the U.S.
where do you think we are?
Behind you speaks. Where did you come from? Did you come from the tree? And you turn around to see this like 7-foot tall humanoid, right? Who is his very like skin seems to be made of some kind of shape that like shifts and moves, and across the middle of his face and like parts of his arms is this vein of what looks like copper, right? That like shines in the light. And like
I like it.
Yeah.
Yes, that does make that makes
Yeah.
a degree of sense.
It does
Yes.
look a lot more
Makes sense
copper,
now.
yeah.
Okay. I see
super
where
imaginative
that
with that name. I hope you
yeah.
guys appreciate it.
Yeah,
was.
no,
Yeah,
it's great.
it's really helpful.
All right. You came from the tree.
Sure. Let's roll with that.
Roots,
Yes.
And there was a
Yeah.
mist.
That,
And then
yes.
we were,
When we got pulled into a bar.
yeah,
Yeah.
in New York, like in
Yes.
That is the thing that happened. Yes.
yeah,
New York.
Yes.
Yes.
like New York
Stone Street.
like
Not
New
like
York.
the old one, the new
Stone,
one.
Like,
Stone Street
by New
In
Jersey.
Fai'Dai.
in Fai'Dai.
Yeah.
Right.
I like the
It's
name
outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stone Street in Fai'Dai.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Why
know
are you
New
saying
York.
it weird? You're saying it weird.
Is there a visible door?
You fell out of a tree.
That is also weird. Yes.
Yep. Not disputing that.
That's this is what I have for you. That's the given
This
circumstance.
is all right. I don't know what's happening here. You all don't.
Yes, welcome to the club. Yes.
There were
You people
roots.
not come out of the tree normally?
Not for thousands of years.
Oh, so
good.
this
Oh,
happened
so it's happened
before. Right.
So
Right?
this is like a chosen one scenario. I've read books like this.
Okay.
That would make sense.
Okay. I mean,
Good.
Did we just get Narnia?
or is it like that last movie
Please
that's
do
coming
not
out
use
December?
Narnia as a no.
I like that reference.
Is this in our-
Aslan's here?
He's on the move. Oh my god. I'm so sorry. I love it. I love Aslan. That's
What is the blue?
time.
Wait, is the cat Aslan?
No, maybe.
Kat, what's your name?
And the tea. And some water. Yes, please.
I knew I forgot a thing. And I liked the name too much to just let her go. Dot. She has a little white diamond on her forehead.
That's so nice.
Yeah. I'm so glad you all liked it as much as I did. It was worth
name
looking
is
it up.
Luna.
Yes, Dot.
How dare you?
So,
All right.
Okay.
So
Okay.
let's wrap it all up.
Yeah.
All right.
yeah.
Sorry. We'll focus.
We're back.
I'm Dot.
Good.
Out on the nose.
Doctor.
It's on my forehead. Thank you very much. All right. Copper says, I don't know what's going on here. You seem just as clueless, but there's someone who might know.
More words like that, please.
Yep.
Will you come with me?
Will there be unicorns?
Preferably ones with the rest of the body. That's disturbing.
Oh, that's just an illusion.
Oh. Wait, oh.
What?
Really?
Yes.
But. Oh.
Wait.
I'm done.
Wait a second.
An illusion.
I quit. There are unicorns.
Okay, well then I'm back in then. Okay. Sure.
Fair.
Priorities here.
Magical quest aborted.
What do you mean an illusion?
It's not really there.
Like a magic, Penn and Teller, David Copperfield, illusions, magic.
No, but
But
Yes.
but she felt real.
That's how it works when it's working.
Oh,
You don't know.
Wait, you can touch
All
it?
right, come with me. Come on, let's go.
I'm just nodding, really
Sure.
like yes, please, yes, and.
So it leads you down the stairs, right? Like these globes float down and kind of follow you down as you make your way down the stairs. I guess down one more time. I had to say it. And they don't seem to be attached to anything. They don't seem to actually have a form that guides them along. And then out the front door, you see a white person like you, a white dragon lizard creature in the corner. Behind the bar downstairs is a large 7-foot-tall rabbit who, as you walk by, kind of sits down on his haunches.
I really hate that. I don't know why. It really makes me anxious to think about that. Continue, please.
And then you emerge out of the doors and into, and certainly not what you expected. Outside is sky, leading for what seems like forever, and you can see sea beyond it as well, and in the distance it looks like there's some kind of huge giant that's like stomping back and forth, carrying a torch. But around you are pillars of stone that, as you approach the edge of this little walkway that you're seemingly on, are floating in the air. These massive glass and stone and crystal skyscrapers that are floating around. And as you look up, you realize that you're in the shadow of a huge tree into which this little pub is nestled into a crevice of the water. And he leads you down a walkway that leads across this eternal skyscape. Questions, comments, concerns, actions?
Is it only a hard time to be truly trouble?
As far as I'm concerned, we're armed.
I feel like in books you have to just go with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a lot of previous experience with this sort of thing, so.
We may as well go. I mean, clearly none of this is real. Bad sushi, perhaps?
I
or
pray to God that you are not real. There is a lot to unpack.
Most of my, honestly, that just validates my theory. That happens to me a lot in dreams. They say that a lot.
What's your name?
Oh yes, names. That's a good idea.
What are your names?
I feel like my name is different now. It's well, what if this is a situation where, in some books, if they know your actual name, then they can have power over you. So
yes, the
we should have
true
different
names.
Yeah. So
Fancy.
I'm green, so you can call me Gin Verdant-Scale, because we were in a bar, Gin, but spell it differently, because fantasy. We'll put a J and a Y there. Keep
That tracks. Yes, no, that tracks. That does make
so
sense.
Jim Verdant-Scale. Yeah, that's what we
had a.
Apparently, William is a fancy name generator.
Yep.
I mean, should I just give you my real name and have
I don't
you generate
know.
names for us?
I mean,
That was the process.
I don't. Sure.
Yes, what do you think our names are?
Okay. You are giving me Ichabod vibes. Maybe.
Oh,
I'm okay with that.
But spelled with a Y in the front.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ichabod.
I think Debrasilla, but with a T that's silent somewhere.
That's about right. I mean, I
Yeah.
have a Polish last name, so there's a lot of consonants.
Oh, that'll do it. Yeah. I would not be able to spell it.
Yeah.
Brandy?
Oh,
Is she Brandy?
Please.
My name is all I have, and I'm just gonna stay with it.
Yeah,
I just
no, that's
feel
great.
like Portia, that's who I am. It's
Portia.
what I know.
Yeah, that's
the
better.
rest of it is negotiable.
That is
Like
definitely
the
better.
car?
Yeah.
No, like
Not
a Shakespeare character, you douche.
Well, I am, but I'm sorry, it did not appear to be within your sphere
let's
of knowledge.
follow
I was
the
trying
yellow
to.
brick road.
Yes, let's.
Yeah,
let's
let's
continue
where does
following
Thomas go?
not yellow brick road.
Portia will remember this.
Oh, wow. Talk about
Fantastic.
telltale.
So he leads you over several interlocking catwalks and then eventually out. Or now, actually in, excuse me. You've been out and now you're going into one of these towering buildings. You notice as you approach that there are like several balconies that like arc around the edges of this building. And you walk through these huge arching doors. And on the inside you find the center of it is this crystal-like intricate spiral that leads all the way down from the top to a fountain in the middle, and water trickles and splashes down, creating this music as it goes. Yes?
Are we following copper or dot or both or
Just copper.
going on our merry way?
Just copper.
Okay.
Unless you want,
No, Dot's dead. She's passed. I'm kidding.
You killed Dot! In our history of the mind, you just killed Dot.
Are we allowed to address copper?
You can absolutely.
Because I feel bad that we've been on this long journey and we've been asked, like, Copper, where are we? And what are these floating, beautiful buildings?
It's been a couple
Go
feet.
for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk to Copper?
Yeah, I kind of do. Sorry,
Then talk to
Copper.
Copper.
Because we've been bickering back and forth. So, of course, Copper's
Yeah,
probably
definitely.
like, what am I doing here?
Fair.
Excuse me, Copper. Where are we if we're not in New York City?
This is Fai'Dai.
I thought you said this was not New York.
We're having some incredibly confusion.
Yes,
Fai'Dai's here
yes
so
we
we
are.
Financial?
No, Fai'Dai.
He's saying
Floating
it.
home.
Yeah, he's saying it weird.
Fine. Yeah, it was a little weird that time.
Fai'Dai.
How are you spelling fight?
F-A-I
Yeah.
D-A-I.
Right, that is different.
Okay,
That is
that's
not
a little
that.
different.
We're in hell. This
Told
is
you.
hell.
And
Yeah.
what building are we in?
This
It's
is.
beautiful.
They don't have names as such. They have numbers. This is 13.
Not good. Not feeling
That's,
it.
not
Okay,
great.
alright.
Not ideal.
Does the tree have a name?
The Tser.
I'm sorry, what?
Sarah?
Tser.
Sarah?
Sarah.
It was
Sarah.
one of those
Sarah.
fantasy teas.
I was like
that-
TS.
Oh, yeah, there's with an apostrophe.
Right.
Right, okay. Two capital
What there's an
letters.
apostrophe, I feel like would be Tesser. You know,
Yeah,
Tesser. Like
Sarah.
Sarah.
Linguistics.
Sarah.
All right. Yes, it's Tser. You got it.
Yep.
And
Making
Fai'Dai.
sure.
Yeah.
There's only
Fai'Dai.
so many things
Yeah.
that we're
Fai'Dai.
really understanding.
Fai'Dai.
Look, we're
Okay.
almost there. Knocks on the door very adamantly.
Yeah.
And from inside, you hear doors open, and apparently the door has always been open, and you walk into this room that looks like it's been plucked and plundered from all over the world and other places as well. There's like a children's desk or a children's like chair with a desk attached to it in the corner. There's like a beautiful stone settee that has like pillows from like 3 different cultures on it, and like a beautiful tapestry that arches over the ceiling.
Cultures that we recognize, or excellent, good.
Oh.
Yes. And around the corner comes this small green person thing. It's so weird having you guys knowing humans as the only humanoids, and I don't know what to call everything else from your points of view right now.
Right.
So a goblin comes around the corner, long, pointy ears and sharp, glistening teeth and little red beady eyes, and he says, "Oh, hello."
Honestly, same.
You scream, your hands come up, and you realize that now you've reverted back to your original
Oh,
That,
here.
Wait,
that's relief.
Honestly, kind of disappointed.
hand back into the. Is the medicine bottle there now?
No. You're still wearing the same clothes,
Okay,
but you're
just
showing
physically.
different selves. He says, what are you doing here? Where did you come from? Who are all of
Who are you?
I'm Eglark.
Eglark.
Eglark. All right.
There was a door, and there were vines,
The
and
vines.
not like the old Vine that nobody
Right.
looks at anymore, but now it's on
Right,
YouTube and
yeah.
very popular,
And
which is
TikTok.
different. Yeah, kind of Vine.
Yeah.
Like tree, naturey stuff, and then a door, and there was honestly a lot of rhyming. I feel like
There was.
There was an awful lot of
All
rhyme.
right.
Yeah.
Sit.
danger rhymes.
Thank you for bringing them, Copper. And Copper kind of like nods a little bit anxiously. You're all from New York,
Correct, yes.
Yeah, that's
No one else seems to know New York.
and you travel here,
I suppose so.
not on purpose.
I would say more of a dragged here. There's
Yeah.
certainly an
Yeah.
unwilling experience.
Yeah.
By what?
So there was this
By
like
how?
shadowy dude with like
Mostly mouth.
pigeony kind of. I thought it was like a pigeon because wings in the city, but you know.
No, that makes sense. Yes.
Yeah, like some demon pigeon brought us
Yeah,
here.
like
I
a
guess.
pigeon mouth.
Yeah.
Like a mechanical pigeon
It was
mouth that
not
brushes
great.
3 times a day.
Yeah.
There was an awful lot of rhyming. I'm fairly certain he probably had a SoundCloud.
Probably. Yeah. No, that tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he definitely pushed us.
Or
into-
pulled. There were
Yeah.
roots. There were roots.
Yeah.
There was some flapping action
And somewhat
going
because
on.
the pit. Yeah.
so-
Some,
And Copper said this doesn't happen a lot, so.
1,000
Yeah, a few
years, I believe.
thousand.
Yeah.
Something
No,
like
the
that.
last of the travelers and keepers of the green died out 1,000
God.
years ago.
They're
I'm
always
sorry,
the last
I'm
of
sorry,
something.
Keepers of the Green. Are they still around? Because that sounds fantastic right now.
I don't think that.
There you go.
Went over my
When you say Keepers of the Green, do you mean from New York or?
From here, well, both. No, keepers of the green are from here, but many of them were travelers between the two worlds, between the Fae, where you are now, and New York, Manhattan.
Okay.
Yep.
It's like Halloween season, and like, I don't know what you're trying to pull.
Do you want to pull on my ear?
No,
Oh.
decide, maybe? Yeah, sure. Okay, I'll do it.
Santa Claus
I
stuff
pulled.
thing?
I
And,
pulled.
I mean, it's a real goblin ear. Ooh.
Is that what you are?
I wipe my hand on my mic.
Yes.
Oh, that's a little weird.
I'm a goblin.
So are you from Fai'Dai here?
From Fai'Dai here, yeah.
Have you ever been to?
Have you been to
No, I'm not a traveler. Many of my friends once were.
So do you know
You're
how to get
1,000 years old.
Yes.
Oh.
Magic gets weird sometimes.
You
look
don't
great.
say.
You look great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Honestly,
I've been
yeah.
feeling a little
You
bloated.
definitely moisturized.
No. Oh, maybe that's
Yeah.
you look great.
So do you know how to get us back?
It should be easy for you now. Once you've traveled, it should be a matter of will and thought, of imagining the other side. That's what they told me. I've never done it.
It's kind of like a Dorothy, click your heels 3 times.
I was gonna say, yeah.
But do you have to be with a tree or
With
is
the
it?
tree, yes. The Sarah is
okay.
the doorway between the two places.
Why us?
That's what worries me. You being dragged here against your will means that someone sought out people with the ability and then pulled them here. Did they say any reason why?
There was a lot. I wasn't really following the whole thing. I was more focused on the rhyming and sort of judging that. Did any of the rest of you catch any prevalent parts?
Something about oceans.
Yeah. Right, showtime.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
People say a lot of stuff in our land, and you
Right.
just kind of keep your headphones in and pray they don't kick you in the face on the subway.
So this is worrying
I have my
because
headphones?
no.
Okay.
The goblin answers you, no, you don't have it.
Okay, great. No, yeah.
Just so you know.
Thanks.
It's worrying because travelers are only made in times of great conflict, and everything's been peaceful here.
Have you ever been to New York? It's constantly in a state of great conflict.
Yeah.
I was gonna say maybe it's not here. Maybe it's New York that you should be worried about.
It's true. It's strange and it's worrying. I don't know what to think about it. But, who are all of you?
I'm a doctor.
A doctor?
I work with Central Park Observatory.
Event planning? A planner?
A playwright of great
A
renown.
playwright?
Christ.
I'm a librarian zookeeper.
What? Zookeeper? Where did we go to zookeeper? What? How did we not know this?
Oh, that's a certain question.
And you didn't get excited about the unicorn?
Oh, it
Well,
does
I'm
answer a lot of
sorry.
questions about the bats.
Well, okay, well, I'm just saying, like, I can't pay my bills, you know. Oh, go to college, get a degree, and then get paid 2 cents an hour. Sure, yeah, 2 jobs. What's nothing wrong with that?
No. It's
No,
a
I'm
lovely,
just
they're
saying
lovely
zookeeper.
professions.
Yeah, they're
lovely
great.
professions.
There's a lot.
Like animals and books.
Yeah.
What's wrong with
I thought you said animals and bones. I was like,
No.
preferably in the animals.
that? I would hope so.
Good, yes.
They're using them.
So, you have never had any encounters with anything strange?
Define strange.
New York, I guess.
That's a vague statement.
So just New York stuff.
Well, I mean, I guess, well, I don't talk about it, because usually talking about it makes it weird, but, I don't know, I invent things, and I feel like my research has been kind of on the cusp of what you might call magic, you know, converting energy from one thing into another, alchemy type things, but, you know, all of that seems pretty crazy up at Columbia, so like, I don't have a job, and now I'm feeling like maybe I'm a little crazy, I don't know, but
Perhaps if we just return you to your home, everything will end up all right. Would you all like to go?
I think that sounds like a
Sure.
no, there's magic here. They have a unicorn on a wall.
Yeah, they promised a unicorn.
Vomiting
so
alcohol. I
And
want
what
that.
part of this is appealing to you?
Did you like Misty Mouth Street? That's what's back in New York.
That's a good point, because if we go back, that demon pigeon might still be there.
But also, how does time work between here and New York? Like, I also have to get back and help my mom.
Time is a little fuzzy.
Narnia.
Sometimes it's quicker, sometimes it's slower. It's a little hard to tell. Sometimes travelers are able to have an effect on it, so perhaps you could affect it. I don't know. All the lore of this is lost so long ago,
What?
and many people don't even believe me when I tell them.
What did the last travelers do,
They
aside from disappear?
Did they disappear, or did they, you know?
Oh, die. Oh.
Yes, that's what I was alluding
Yeah.
to, yes.
Yeah.
mostly
so
the latter.
Ooh.
Yeah, but what
like
did
from old
they do
age?
before they died?
They worked to make peace, and some of them were successful, and some of them were taken by darker desires.
When you say they were taken by darker desires, do you mean the darker desires took them, or they were overwhelmed and became evil themselves?
It's kind of both, isn't it?
Is it?
But one's a little more fatal than the other? That's,
Like, is it a euphemism?
Is it though?
but yes.
Then I don't understand what you said.
Either you're dead or you're not. Are they killed by a thing, or do they become evil themselves?
Both.
Oh.
Either.
It
You're
sounds,
very confusing.
It sounds
You're
like there are a lot of options.
obnoxious.
Yeah, it sounds like there are a lot of options here, and I think we should consider them.
That from the outside of the door, you start to hear some kind of commotion.
Conflict.
Running.
Conflict. They said there would be, and we're here. There has to be more meaning to
But
this.
look, it might just be something small, and the goblin walks outside to go look, and he says, come, let's go.
Very well.
And you will go outside and wander away, follow this crowd
Do we
that's
now
making
look-
its way outside. As soon as you emerge, you look like your fantasy selves
Okay.
again.
Yeah.
Sighs of relief.
That's back.
I see. Okay, that's how that
The
works.
varying degrees
that's
of
fine.
happiness
That's
of your
cool.
fantasy selves is hilarious to me.
Whatever.
And so you go outside and are peeking over the heads of this crowd that is forming, and something's happening to the tree. Something's moving up the side of it. Something dark and almost purplish, but it like sparks and tips at the very edges of it with white, almost like foam on the tip of a wave, right? And it begins to ripple up the side of the tree and evolving towards the head, and then it starts to splash over one of the catwalks that runs alongside the tree, and then the screaming starts just faintly in your ear from that distant part over there.
From the tree? Okay.
Not from the tree, from the people on the catwalk. And you see people running away, and gasps go up around you, and there's like alarm that sounds from various different people. What's going on? What's happening? We need to find out. Right?
I try to like listen as some. Are they coming towards us? Like, can I hear what people are saying?
Oh no, they're a long way.
They're a long way away. Okay.
Yeah.
Egglock,
No more perception checks, actually. Let's see how good your eyes are. While we're at it.
Roll.
It's not a one.
Ooh.
It's not great.
Well, it's not double digits.
Did I really roll? 11.
11.
It's 2 1s.
Really? I got a 7.
I got 6.
I got a 19. I don't even know
Oh.
one. How
Yeah.
did that happen?
Oh.
Hey, you're paying attention.
Okay.
How did that happen? I'm just so good at it.
So you can see that something's like coming out of the stuff, and that the stuff is like more than like it's almost like lichen that moves and shifts and grows, like you're watching 1,000 years pass in a matter of seconds as it grows up the side of
Like
it.
a weed kind of growing.
Exactly. Yeah, it's very much like a weed. Yeah, but like a super fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. And something is like emerging out of it and like splashing onto the ground on the far side, and you're seeing that those things are taking shape and then chasing people.
Okay.
Yeah. Action.
Do you guys see that?
What are they running
It's like
from?
it's like a weed. It's like a weed just overtaking the tree, and there's these like shadow peoples. It just makes me think of Kingdom Hearts, and they're like chasing it.
Yeah.
Sorry, my knowledge is limited.
No, I
That's
love
what
you.
it gave
That's
me.
real.
Yeah,
That's
you're
what
the
my
best.
mind gave me that.
Egglock, what is that?
I don't know.
Shadow people? Shadow
Excuse
people
me.
anything?
Why is
Like
there a
runs
giant
backwards
weed?
inside.
I start just like
How do
fussing
we-
with my arm and trying to like understand what all
How do you
is
help them?
life.
So as you like start to play
Yeah.
with your arm, you realize that you have an inherent understanding
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
Right?
Eyes
Like,
get real big, like it's goggles down, like it is time.
It's less. It doesn't take any time to learn. You
Yeah.
already know what it all is.
Yeah.
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 Absolutely.
Cool. Great. That's
great.
continue.
Fantastic. You were asking. You had a question, Amy.
Um,
We have something though.
We have 2 things.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
One, Donovaine. Donovaine has earned a flask.
Yeah.
And specifically, Batsy has overflowed.
Oh my God.
Batsy has overflowed.
This system, I designed it and it's broken.
Hold on. My bad.
You're bad.
So real quick, think of ultimate for that.
yeah.
What is your ultimate?
Yeah, we should say what our ultimate is.
Conjuring like with this that's one question mark?
That's warm.
That's
Question
one?
mark?
Call of Brothers? I don't know.
Call brothers? Yeah, great. So I'm just gonna do this all with Batsy. Let's go.
Yeah.
For it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You ready for this? Everybody
yeah.
ready for this?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Great.
Also,
Yup.
I can roll on my wild magic table.
Are we gonna
boy.
do that when it goes into play, or?
Oh yeah, it's all at once.
Oh, it's now.
It's
Oh,
all at
right
once.
now.
It is
Oh.
chaos
Good. That's good.
incarnate.
She's on my back.
So when we overflow, right, some random magical event happens at the same time, right? So let's see what this is gonna be.
Oh goodness.
Polymorph.
Oh no.
But what though?
What does that
But what
mean?
though?
But what though? All right. So first of all,
Oh my God.
so it's Dame Shirley Batsy. It's like you're like worried about this, and you're starting to really feel like the weight of everything.
Yeah.
The weight of this like responsibility, and you're like, do I have to save these people? Is that on me now? Am I the chosen one? Am I? Oh my God! And then you're being pulled backwards, and Batsy has grown. Batsy has grown to the size of this table, and she's not stopping.
Oh God!
She continues to grow larger and larger.
Is
and
you okay?
larger.
This happened a lot.
Girl, what's wrong with you? Come back now.
And she goes, chink, chink, and like hooks her claws over the edge and starts like shaking slightly, as if she's about to take flight.
Didn't control your thing.
I'm gonna climb on top of her.
You're gonna climb on top of her?
Yeah,
What
like
is
just
wrong
calm her
with
down.
you?
It's like, relax, you're fine, everything's fine. I think
That's not-
maybe.
This is how things start.
This
This
is,
is how a lot
is
of
she a
things
luck
start.
bat? What's happening?
So as you like climb on top of her, right, you begin to feel like magic coursing into your body,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And you begin to change into
Oh my god.
Oh gosh. Okay, this is on me.
can be.
Yeah. I'm thinking like this. I was thinking like Man-Bat from Batman.
Oh.
I mean, I'm okay with that.
Great.
You're like, yeah.
Yeah.
And you start to transform into Man-Bat riding giant bats.
I'm like, oh,
I'm sensing a theme.
oh.
And,
Are you okay? Yeah, okay, alright. I think he's fine, guys.
Eglark is standing next to you and he goes, "Oh God, what did you do?"
We didn't do anything. Where did you?
We, for once, did not do anything.
Look, he like flips out a carpet and says, get on the carpet, fly, Dame, fly!" And Dame pushes off and swoops out. You're like falling for a second and you think it's gonna last forever, and then the wings spread and Dame soars off into the distance. And underneath her, like from underneath her wings, spread these swarms of bats that just like cover the sky underneath you, like you're just setting off a million clusters of bats. And the rest of you clamber on the
So as I'm
carpet.
getting onto the carpet, I'm going to infuse a magical item from inside of my arm. I'm going to pop out a wand of secrets.
Great, fantastic.
Or sorry, a wand of detect magic.
Wand of Detect Magic.
Yeah,
love
sorry.
it, love it, love it. And the carpet picks up and takes off and flies forward towards this lichen. All right, we're gonna take a quick 10-minute break, but I need to get my actors out first. So if everyone could wait, if actors could unclip themselves from their lab. Great.
Please.
Do you have announcements first?
I do.
Why
So
don't we do that first? Then?
Donovaine is going to overflow,
Oh,
and then get a level 2 flask.
Yes!
Portia
The wickeder one.
has a flask as well.
Ooh,
Portia,
thank you.
Yes.
Take you have
I don't know what to do with all that.
activated your max, and now you have another one in reserve.
Thank you, my love.
Yes. I'm just here to make your life miserable.
I know. All right.
All right. So
We're good.
We're good.
This is all for that.
Let us away.
Let us away.
You got it.
So, on the back of Dame Shirley Batsy.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Oh, that's
You're
right.
that
Yeah.
too. I forgot that part.
Which I don't know how to hold things on because I have wings, but
You have the wings, but you got the
thumbs,
right?
thumbs, yeah.
We're like a little baby bat on the mom
I'm
bat.
a little baby bat on the
Right?
Got a
Plus
bat
you're
for
like
it.
man bat.
Yeah.
So you got, do you have prehensiles?
Yeah, prehensiles.
All right.
Yeah.
The prehensiles. All right, we're with
Have some bread.
What?
I want bread, okay?
Sorry, that
Maybe
was.
All right.
bread.
So you guys are flying through the air towards this like
Yes.
strange event that's happening across the tree, spreading up and around it, right? And the rest of you are on a magical carpet, which is being driven very bravely by Eglark, who's arcing through the sky back and forth, and you see various different like brooms and other mechanisms of flying, like zipping back and forth as people react to this sudden catastrophe that's happening up ahead. And as you get closer, you can hear the screams reaching out towards you, pulling you closer, or driving you away, as the case might be.
Adventure.
And then the tree itself, about 300 feet above you, seems to crack. And through it pours light. And a dragon
Oh no.
emerges out of it, kind of like pulling and clawing and scratching its way out before it pushes itself off and takes flight, soaring over the city, spitting fire that splashes across one of the towers, melting pieces of its crystal frame away.
That's a lot to take in.
How large is this dragon in relation to this bat?
In relation to the bat,
Yeah.
the bat is about dragon-sized.
Wow.
Oh,
Okay.
wow. Okay.
All right.
That's-
Okay. That's
Okay.
that's.
It's very large.
Adjusting
Yeah.
that,
Well,
like,
look
okay.
at it.
Yeah, that's what?
It's a very large bat. He
A
overflows.
sort of small dragon.
Or is it?
No, it's a large dragon.
Okay.
It would,
Okay.
in rules parlance, it would be huge.
Okay.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
which
That's
is
fine.
about the wingspan would be the length of the barn.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's great.
So it's a very, very large dragon and a very large bat, coincidentally. So
I just take my wand of magic detection and just. Yeah. As we sweep by the tree, I want to aim it at the crack in the tree to see what type of magic.
Absolutely, and like as soon as the dragon was out, the crack like
Yeah.
closed and doesn't seem to be there anymore. And as you pull closer, Eglark says, "I'm gonna drop you off. I need to deal with this dragon." Betsy,
Alone?
That's what's up where?
you're
Why?
with me. Great, beautiful. So you were like dropped off at the edge of on the side of this catwalk, right?
Yeah.
The three of you. Do you want to go with them and then Batsy go with Dragon? It's up to you.
Let's go. I'm gonna go with Batsy.
You're gonna go with Batsy?
Yeah, I'm attached.
All right.
Yeah.
Quite the difference. Yes.
You like try to get off. You're
Yeah,
like,
it's like, oop,
That's our
It's kind of like doing the scared cat, like the.
we're splitting the party because insanity
Oh,
has
God.
happened.
Good.
So you have been dropped off on this catwalk that like rides along the edge of the tree, right? And it's actually like very close to the cauldron. The cauldron is actually like one level up, and if you take a couple stairs up, you'll be at the front door of the cauldron. You can see patrons who were there earlier, like peeking over the catwalk banisters. And
Are there more
looking-
of those shadow things about?
Yeah.
So down in the opposite direction of the cauldron is this thing that's growing up the side.
I hate
right?
when you say things like that.
I love getting that reaction out
Yeah,
of you.
I hate it.
And it moves and undulates and shifts, but not in a liquid way. More like I said, like it's watching things grow. Go
Live your
for it.
dream.
I'm living my dream.
It's just like D&D at home.
Like a real game table.
Gamers, they're just like us.
So, and it like shifts and kind of skitters almost and moves, and like the tips of it are all this white, almost like kind of spark and then fall softly like spores. But out of it are pouring things that take shape and are chasing these people towards you. And the crowd is like starting to clear, and ahead you can see these. They're not quite shadows. To describe them as shadows would do their like absolute substance a disservice. They are there and present, and no part of them is see-through. They are just blackness.
So in aiming, I guess what I meant to say,
Mhm.
in aiming my wand at all of
that,
yeah, just clocking it. With detect magic, am I getting any particular school of magic off of these things?
You are. You're getting transmutation and necromancy.
No.
Yeah, very powerful necromancy.
And I guess resurrection is necromancy, so maybe it's fine. It's fine.
But the shapes of these things, they aren't uniform in any way, right?
Yeah.
They are different creatures of different sizes. You see halflings and gnomes and dragonborn and drow and elves and dwarves and a myriad of different shapes. But they're all monochromatic, black, like holes in the world, right? And as they chase things down, they grab them and kind of try to eat them, and every time that they manage to like pull their bodies around a person, they grow larger, one step larger. And so, as you're, tell me what you guys are doing. I don't know what you guys are doing. Yeah.
So are we still on the carpet? Like, what's our situation?
You guys are off the carpet if you're willing to be, right? I'm saying.
Yeah,
that
I
just,
jumped
like,
off the
pushed you
carpet.
off the carpet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I made my bed, now let's slide.
So you're on the catwalk, right? It's just three of you. Everyone else is fleeing away from these things.
So I have a question.
Mhm.
Before we had talked about it kind of being like a weed that was going around
Yeah,
the tree.
the source absolutely is.
Do we see where the source of that is coming from?
Totally. For the first time that you look like down, following the trace of it, right?
Okay.
And the tree itself descends down miles upon miles downwards into a black pit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which it doesn't seem like it's new, right? But the water of the seas actually like pours into that pit, and down there you can see like maybe the shadow of roots down there. So this darkness incarnate is coming out of that pit and has grown up the side of the tree, weaving and squiggling its way up.
Sure. So I am scared. So
Great.
I will now take action in light of my fear,
Mm-hmm.
and I will summon a turret beside me, a defender turret. I have rolled a d8, and I add my intelligence modifier to that, and everybody now has altogether that's 6 temporary hit points
Great,
on top of their health.
Beautiful.
This kind of how does this happen? Yeah, so basically
What does it
I
look like? Yeah.
point my casting focus or my arm at the roots, and I kind of reach and summon them up, and a couple of them crawl away and start wrapping themselves into this little wooden turret that's just prancing about next to me within 5 feet of me, and just glowing and pulsing, radiating green energy out of it.
They have like 3 legs.
Yeah. Yes,
Paul
and.
was on 2 of them.
Yeah, and the other one's just happy to be there. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Great, fantastic. So you summon your turret.
Yeah.
How far away is this like horde of things?
At this
coming
point,
from?
they're like 20 feet away.
Okay. Then Donovaine is going to go over. It's fine. This is all a dream. There is nothing to worry about. So, I mean, clearly it is my dream. So, time to allow the star to take center stage.
Yikers.
And we will stride forward and activate the ultimate ability.
Yeah.
Which is?
It's the overflow. Which he is going to step forward to get within, let's say, step about 10 feet forward.
Yes.
Towards this
Absolutely.
encroaching horde. And go, this may be a fantastical, magical dream space, but allow me to expose to you the true magic, the ultimate magic of the stage. Behold, theater of the mind!
It's every bit as ridiculous as we thought
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? What's going on? All right. So what happens? Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is the, as we talked about, anything that is charging forward, envisions as physically as you wish to have it, its worst nightmare. These things are full on, like, this is, every one of them has their own personal boggart.
So how does that work?
Or does it work?
Break the DM.
That's the goal!
Break the DM.
Break the DM. All right. It also tips, so I have to roll some dice to find out. Oh no.
Yeah, because that's also the overflow, so.
I like the sound of
Great,
that.
fantastic. So here's what happens. Y'all ready? Because I don't know if I am.
Nope.
So you like impress your will upon the world, right? And it like takes actual physical form. This like wave of wind that has a slight misty tinge to it rushes out over all of these creatures in front of you, and their form starts to shift and bend, and they start to like spike out into outside. They like start to lose their like cohesion bit by bit, and they start to change, right? All of them like bending over, and then the sound comes. This that's multiplied 100 times across all of them, and it like shakes the very foundations of the catwalk that you're on, as many of them begin to like fold up into themselves and disappear into like this haze that starts to cling to the bottom of the catwalks and begins to slowly make its way towards you. The ones that don't disappear are changed. No longer are they recognizable creatures. They are things of spikes and hooks and terror itself.
Thanks a lot,
Sharp
Donovaine.
I really thought
That was my part. You two go now.
However, you find as you begin to speak like that you, and this is our wild magic, can only speak in rhyming verse.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it was randomly rolled. I love these dice.
That's
So,
amazing. We have another.
I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Leiya, is that how to pronounce it?
Leiya.
Leiya?
Or Leiya.
Leiya.
Has overflowed.
Ooh.
Portia has another flask.
Hey.
You're on your
And
way.
Batsy has 3. Batsy has 3.
All right, thank you all so much.
Thank you.
We way underestimated underestimated
Oh my God.
everything.
For Valkyrie.
Honored to be nominated.
Great, beautiful.
I'd
All
like to
right.
thank the Academy.
You know.
So good.
We should have known that including a pet would do this. Great.
I'm terrified.
I wasn't aware of this.
So we all get pets now.
We all get pets now. That's how this is going to work. Yeah. All right.
Yes.
So that was way too loud.
Yep.
It scared me.
My bad ears.
You good?
So you're like so upset with Donovaine that you're like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And you step forward,
Okay.
and I feel you really worried about the tree.
I am. Like,
Right?
because what I was trying to get at with my question before is,
Yeah.
from where we're seeing where this is emerging, is this solid, like I can go crazy with my battle axe? Or is this like shadowy spore blanket on the tree?
Shadowy spore blanket on the tree. Yeah. So your superpower right now is going off, and I need you to guide me on how Leiya's having it happen.
So my superpower is I can summon plants to do my will, whether that's building a bridge or attacking a swarm of shadow creatures.
Spoilers.
Because that's the thing. I want to stop this tree getting attacked because it's bothering me on all
Fantastic.
plant-loving levels. So I turn to Portia and I'm like, if I could stop that blanket from coming and keep it underground, do you think it's going to do anything?
Do I think the necromantic energy that's clawing its way toward us is going to care about plants?
I mean, is it a total or is it?
These are all
Residual.
life-burning questions, Leiya. I mean, YOLO, it can't hurt, right? I mean, why not try? We've got
Give you 10 seconds, Amy, before I take control.
live your dream.
That's so scary.
Try.
Yes.
Try it.
I'm going to summon some vines to cover up that hole to try to keep it contained underground so we can find a way to
Beautiful.
I don't know, light it
love
on
that.
fire.
Yeah.
So you reach out with your will, like your compassion for this tree itself, right? And the massive thing begins to move. The bark begins to break and split, and out of it grow these branches that stretch out, huge leaves emerging gracefully, and then blooms that are color?
Purple.
Purple, she says
I mean,
impressively.
why are we
These purple
asking this?
blooms spreading and opening before like wilting and dying and falling into the abyss below, and then they swallow up all of the lichen that is on top of the catwalk, eating it up. However,
Yay!
however,
Oh, I don't like this hero.
as you push out, reach out with all of your power, you find everything getting a little bit larger, and the momentousness of this moment is making you feel very small, very
small.
small indeed.
I mean, I'm short to begin with. There's only so much more.
And you are now water bottle sized.
Yes.
Oh,
Now those unicorns are going to
Teacup paladin.
So I just need to understand what I'm looking at here.
Yes.
I've seen lichen swallow the darkness.
Yes.
I've seen fears become reality.
Mhm.
I've seen a bat the size of a dragon. And
Yes.
I'm just trying to live my life.
Yes.
Okay, what remains of the shadow creatures?
So, let's do some mapping. And let's get out because we're moving into combat, and then we'll talk about what happened to Dame Shirley Betts because I know we're all very curious.
Oh, yes. Terrified.
I'm waiting with bated breath.
So here is our catwalk. It's like a little wavy, right?
Yeah.
I want it to be a little bit bigger. Second line is the true one, right? Ahead of you are several creatures, which are normal sized, right? They've been shrunken down by your power, into an appropriately sized foe. But they are all hooks, right? They are all hooks and spikes, and they themselves look like weapons now. So you guys can place yourselves somewhere over here. Go ahead.
Very far away.
Far away.
Find me the small one.
In my little tiny water bottle.
This D4 will be my turret.
Great. I'm gonna move on to Batsy. You guys roll initiative, and we'll get back to you in a little bit. So,
Yeah.
you bat on Batsy.
Yeah.
Batsy. You have peeled away off and after this dragon with Egglock, right? Who's like gripping close on his what's the name of the thing? It's a carpet. It's a carpet.
Flying carpet.
It's flying carpet.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Magic carpet.
Gripping close on his carpet, like tucked down. He's got like his hood over his head, and his little ears are poking out, specifically cut holes.
Yeah.
And he's like ducking and weaving through. This dragon is laying as much waste to the city as possible. And what are you doing? Yeah. Talk to me. And you have control of Batsy, right?
Yeah.
She's the best steed.
She
you could
is.
have asked for.
She's bae, really bad bae. And I was thinking that because you said she's flying out and swarms of bats are coming out from somewhere, don't know. I was thinking we just have the entire bat brood attack this dragon. I want a hunter's mark first if I can as a bonus action.
You got hunter's mark for dragons?
Yes, I'm a
Great,
hunter's mark for
that
dragon.
That sounds good.
And
I
I
know
need
where
to
that
mark that
is.
off on D&D. But gonna have a whole swarm of bats, and we're gonna attack. And I'm just gonna have like Goldfinger playing in the back of my head, just like over this whole thing. You know, bats swarming, bum bum bum. You know, as we attack. Yeah.
Amazing.
Do I roll bat stats? What am I doing?
I got bat stats.
You got bat stats.
I got dragon
Great.
stats.
Great.
Oh, right.
Oh boy.
So we're going at it.
We're going
at it. All right.
Yep.
So the dragon like slams into one of the buildings and tears a balcony out and sees Batsy coming, and shoves off like streaking through the air towards you, breathing fire in your direction.
Oh boy.
Roll a dexterity save for Batsy. Okay. Batsy save.
Batsy save is not ideal.
You got an 8.
8 plus. Yeah.
Plus Batsy save.
Plus Batsy
so I'm
save.
going to be doing all this math in my head,
Yeah.
so that you know, because I just made up all of Batsy's stats.
Fantastic.
Because that's the job.
Yeah.
All right. So Batsy like tries to get out of the way, but the fire rakes across her right side, right, doing a solid amount of damage, right?
Yeah.
Just cutting into her right side, and like part of your the fur that you're holding onto is now aflame as well, right? What are you gonna do with Batsy?
So with Batsy, not happy about that. We're gonna go for the jugular and attack.
Great.
Yeah. Whole bat swarm.
Oh, and the bat swarm.
Yeah,
absolutely.
we're all
roll for Batsy's attack first.
Batsy attack.
For Batsy.
Oh, that's a 5.
not so good.
Not ideal. Not great. She's not used to this size.
So Batsy, she's used to this.
Yeah, she's like a size
So
12.
Batsy like tucks wings and tries to reach out to grab the dragon, but the dragon pulls both of its wings in and spins underneath her grasp as he goes. But the bat swarm is all over him. Roll two d20, or roll a d20 with advantage because there's so many of them.
Okay.
10 is not bad. We're in the double digits now, and another 5. Not so
Yikes.
good. Not so good.
Consistency.
However,
Switching dice.
there it is. The bat swarm, like many of them, cling to the dragon as he's like flying through, right, tearing and picking at him, right, screeching in his ear, and he's like flying and trying to shake them off of him. He's gonna take disadvantage on future attacks because of that. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, we're back around to our boys on the ground. What's going on? Well, folks on the ground.
How far are we from Batsy?
How far are you from Batsy?
Yeah.
Long ways.
Yeah.
I know you want to help Batsy out.
I do.
You have the problems
all
of your
lined
own.
up. Yeah. Do we though?
We do.
You do, yeah. Initiatives.
Yeah.
5. Great, love that.
10.
Oh God, we're at this problem.
Was a 5? Yes.
Well,
Consistency.
And
I rolled a 20!
Hey! Amy can't roll tonight.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, Amy, guess what?
Oh,
You're up. Did you not want to go?
I don't. Now I have to think of my strategies. Okay.
Hit things.
Yeah.
paladin them to death.
Let's charge in, tiny paladin.
The smallest I forgot.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah.
I forgot completely.
Emma
Does
should
that
have said
mean
anything.
I have like a little tiny pickaxe at this point, or is this still giant and I'm trying to run with this?
Is she
And
like
no,
a pixie
You,
with a broadsword?
all of
What's
you has
happening?
changed. Yeah, including all of your equipment. How are you going to use this to your
great.
advantage?
This is great.
It's like Ant-Man.
Yeah.
This is so awkward. Because I was gonna say, can I use like nature's wrath and like hold a guy in place and then just kind of like pick at his leg? Because what else am I gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, why
Yeah,
not?
I'm sure.
I mean-
Do you want to hold your action for a little bit so you can think?
Yeah, let me strategize with
All right, take a second
with
and
my
think.
water bottle size.
We are going to move on to Donovaine. Or Portia.
It's me. I'm her.
Numbers
Okay.
backwards.
Okay, cool. I just need to check on the range of fairy fire because that is what I'm going to do to as many of them as possible to grant us advantage on our attacks.
Fairy fire can absolutely reach all those people.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Great.
Yeah, we're within 60. So yeah. Cool. So I do that. They are I think they have to roll save against my things.
What's your thing?
I will tell you as I navigate.
Dex is checking his dice.
Spell
Will this one
save.
work?
That
That's
one.
the 6th 5 tonight for you.
Yeah, that's the second
It's a
one.
dexterity saving throw against 13.
Great, fantastic. That's a natural 1. Yeah, no, they're not doing so good.
Cool. So they basically
Tell
are.
us.
I will. I'll tell you everything. So I pop out 2 wands. So I'm like dual wielding wands,
Great.
and I just slam them together in front of me, and a giant jet of green sparkles just hits them each, and it's like they like laser and then explode in fairy fire sparkles when they impact each of them.
Beautiful.
And they don't like it. Yeah.
How many of them can you hit?
I can hit everyone within. Everyone in a 20-foot cube.
Beautiful.
So-
And that's the 20 foot is the radius, then you can hit all of them.
Yeah, I can hit all of them. Yeah.
Fantastic. They're all fairy fired, right? And the magical light from the fairy fire kind of reflects off of them like glass. It is their turn now. This is
That's me.
you. Right. This is
Oh,
gonna be
yeah.
fun. Let's kill
Oh,
the
it's
bard.
nice.
Let's kill the bard. Let's kill the bard.
Oh my
As
God.
they all rush in, charging you. What's your armor class?
13.
Cool.
Hey, you know that plan we had for good?
Yeah, I have a plan.
Cool.
I certainly hope so.
Yeah. Can I try something?
As soon as they're done with their action, yeah. You
Okay.
spoke up a little bit too late
Yeah.
for that. That is
Anxiety
so-
fright.
Yeah. Beautiful. So Donovaine, they like rush at you. The first one you see coming, right? You can like see this coming miles away. You get out of the way of a hooked slash at your head. The other one just opens its
Real quick,
arms.
what did the other one roll? What did it roll?
I can't remember. You're
Never
too
mind.
fast.
Sorry.
Were you gonna use?
I was gonna cutting words it, but I didn't get it in time. It's fine.
Okay, cool. The other one, the second one, just like slams into you with its body, and its spikes like poke through your leather armor, giving you 10 damage. The final one takes a slash under your leg and like clips just a bit of your shin, cutting you open, and you take 5 damage from that.
Not a dream. Not a dream.
Confirmed. Not a dream.
This dream is ouchie.
So what was the total?
That was 15 total damage. Amy.
Well, that destroyed what I was gonna do.
D&D!
Woo! Can I do lay on hands and give him 15 hit points back?
You absolutely
Yeah.
can.
Thank God.
That's the most Mother Gothel, like there, it never happened. Like, but small.
I love the
With my
image because you're like getting
water
slashed
bottle
up and you're like,
I just lay upon you.
Fantastic. We're back around to Batsy. The dragon, having gotten out of your way, like beats its wings and spins its tail around, trying to strike you, and rolls a natural 1. Oh.
Yeah. Stupid dragon, dumb.
So Batsy, who's like grabbed after it, turns and hooks the tail, just like catching it, and together you both start falling, tumbling in unison. What are you doing?
I actually wanted to do this. I wanted to like grapple it, like hold its wings in place, and like squish it to the ground.
Oh, ground is non-existent.
Oh, it's nowhere
Yeah,
near.
yeah.
Okay, wonderful.
Because you're over that big pit.
Okay, yeah. So no, none of that. We're gonna all just attack. We're just gonna keep hitting this boy.
Yeah. How are you gonna hit it?
So I'm thinking like while the bats are like clinging on to different bits, like some of them are like gnawing on like a shoulder. And Shirley Batsy is just gonna like, oh, you know, like we got the tail, and then we're just gonna like just start biting everything.
Beautiful.
You know, to the rhythm of the song. You know?
Great.
Yeah. So
Batsy has emerged too.
I'm gonna roll. Oh, I don't like.
Yeah,
You know, that's
little
amazing. And oh boy, that is a 3.
I'm so sorry.
No, that's fine.
I
It's
am
cool.
so sorry.
See, I rolled a 1 when I practiced before
So
with that
many,
one.
so many dice are failing right now.
Yeah.
Roll for your bat swarm as well.
Bat swarm.
Yeah, with advantage.
Advantage with bat swarm. That is
14.
And we'll take the 14.
The 14.
That was a 9.
Beautiful. So your bats are like starting to work into this dragon while you scream in its ear and do actual damage. Why don't you roll 2d6 for me? And I'm gonna do some multiplication.
I'm gonna
math.
do that.
That damage to this dragon.
2 and a 2. I'm consistent.
Consistent
2
and
two.
low.
Consistently
Fantastic.
struggling.
So this dragon's starting to be like piece of it are being like torn apart, and it's like clearly not happy. All right, we are back around to Amy.
Leiya.
Okay.
Smallest skeleton.
You look like Garrus doing his calibration. You're just like, what is?
Oh.
You didn't go at all?
No.
Well, then back to you.
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
So staring down these three, kind of glare up at them, and putting the thumbs of his hands together and outstretching them, he goes, "Come, you creatures of shadow and thorn, feel the burn of a critic's scorn!" As he pushes his hands out.
That's good.
Burning hands.
That's
Yes.
good.
Because fire Genasi!
Yes! Excellent.
I'm
Go
so
for
It
it.
is a 15-foot cone.
It absolutely
So
is.
they get a dexterity saving throw of
Yes,
12.
they
You want to
do.
pump
That's
any,
what they do.
any of those
You
bad
got
boys into that?
some of these.
That's exactly what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
So it's going to be the max 3d6. So 18.
Woo!
Is that math? 18?
That is math. That's how maths. Mathly. All right. Beautiful.
Is it one of those for that, or is it two?
That's 2 for max.
Max, yeah. Drink them?
Drink.
Drink them. Yeah, hydrate.
Yes.
Hydrate.
Hopefully, next game, these will be colored for each of our different players.
Oh.
But we had not time.
These were not clean.
And sanitary.
Hail hydrate.
Cool, it's great. Everything's fine.
No one knows drinking the best tonight.
Spicy.
All right, beautiful.
Spicy water.
It's live, folks.
So 18 damage.
Fine, I just survived 4 days at New York Comic Con. That is not going to kill me.
That is
That
not
actually it's true. Okay, beautiful. So your fire like rips through them, right? And
We're gonna die.
God, what kind of effect do you think fire has on these creatures?
Because they are shadow, they just vanish completely, right? That's definitely how shadows work.
I hate you. Absolutely. But like, let's merge our two, and and
You're actually asking
flame,
seriously.
Like,
I'm
burn-
sorry. That's
the flame like burns holes in them, right?
Yeah.
And then like paper, they kind of sear at the edges and turn brown, right? So that you know
Burning
for
away
mechanics,
paper,
these two failed, and this one on the end who missed you last time, he did good.
Okay.
He did good. All right. Now, at last,
How
do you have
visibly hurt are they?
how visibly hurt are they?
Yeah.
fairly visibly hurt. Like, I mean, I'm not going to give you a health bar.
No,
but you hurt him
I'm
good.
I'm just looking for a visual.
No, you hurt him good. They have like solid holes in them. Some of them have like broken pieces off of them. Yeah. All right, Amy, you're up.
I would like to use.
Oh no!
Wait,
Bonus action.
Because I have a bonus action, so I'm going to
That was cool. I'm so sorry.
pull out my my book and give a turn down to the tiny paladin right next to me, and I'm going to inspire her with a stirring verse.
Oh my god.
Down
Can't
to
wait.
go. While I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a clapping. That of ass cheeks, loudly clapping. Clapping at my chamber door.
I can't do this, Joe.
"'Tis a visitor," I muttered. "Dummy thick, and nothing more." Inspiration here.
Dummy thick.
I don't know what to do with my life right now.
So you get a d6, you can add to an attack or ability check.
That can
Or
fit.
ability check, attack, roll, or saving.
Okay.
Great.
And you have to hire 10 minutes.
Woo! Okay.
What are you doing, Amy?
I was going to
What's
use.
the plan, pint size?
She clocked me.
Yeah.
I used. That was double the bigger. All right. So I am going to wield tiny Nature's Wrath vines next to the. So this is the creature that has the most, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to, like an X-wing around an at, take the vines and just surround his feet and just have him topple over and just look at the bard and be like, there you go. kid."
Great. So what am I rolling or you rolling?
So you have to roll for 12.
Great. Dexterity?
Yep.
You.
Let it be.
All right. That is a natural 1.
Yes!
What's going on over here? I'm a little mad.
It's contagious.
I'm rolling as bad as Dex.
And it's bad.
So, does that make it a failed dex save?
Really hurt you.
That is
She
3
can't do it.
damage to the
I'm
So you
conflicted.
like. It takes you your whole turn. You're like little Groot.
Oh, yes! Oh my God,
You're
yes.
baby Groot.
Baby
You're like,
With my battle axe.
your battle axe like
And just like put the
flying
vines.
it out, and the head of it turns into vines as it whips out
Makes me so
and like
happy.
wraps around like this thing, and it goes and falls. Whoo! Clunk! It's falling off the edge.
Yes.
Easy.
Mid-break and
miniatures.
mini. I knew it was a resistance.
Gently.
I got you back. All right, beautiful. Well done.
Yay!
Yeah.
Yay! You did
Small and mighty.
All right.
Don't forget to roll with advantage when you hit these boys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. If you're
Absolutely. Do
rolling
not
attack.
forget to roll
Is it me?
advantage.
Oh, yeah, 'cause
It is you. Yes.
And go I shall.
Great.
I shall move my turret. It will forward just like that. It makes that noise because that's how I want it to happen. And it's D&D, and I said so.
I love that the unintentional consequence of your first time casting
Yeah.
is that your turret has a Disney score. Is it
2,
Danny Elfman?
5. I am going to go ahead and have. Oh man, I guess as these guys roll for this cone right here.
Yeah.
For Thunderwave, can they roll a save for me? It is a Constitution save.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, they can do that.
Yeah.
They can work on that.
Against 13.
Good.
Is it?
That's not so good.
Okay.
Alright, one of them succeeded.
Cool. I will turn in my flasks.
Yes.
There it is!
Hooray!
Yeah!
To do 16 thunder damage to one of them and 8 to the other.
Oh, yeah.
I will also use my bonus action.
Uh-huh.
What a time to be alive. I will come up behind this boy here. I will use my bonus action to re-infuse with a D8 plus my int. Temporary hit points. If you have lost them, you now have 7 more.
Whoa.
Because Defender turret is broken, and I intend to use it as such.
There it is. Beautiful. So you hit these 3,
Yes.
right? Don't you have to be there to cast the spell?
Yes, and I meant to do. Yeah,
Meant to be
please,
there.
yeah.
Cool. Just checking it.
Come for
All right.
me.
I'm at
Yeah,
you. I'm
it's
coming
happening.
for you right now. Beautiful. So you're like Thunderwave. How does it manifest, right?
Oh yeah, that's true. I should tell a story and paint a picture
Paint a
with
picture
words.
for the lovely
For the people.
people.
I love the people. For the
But
yes.
first up,
Oh, we have 3 people who have overflowed.
Oh.
Oh shit.
Chaos!
I'm sorry,
thank you guys so much
two
for being the
overflows.
test group.
And you
We're
have-
learning so much.
I'm sorry, 2 overflows, and Portia, you are back up to 3 flasks.
Oh boy.
Boy.
But Batsy and the DM have overflowed.
No!
Oh.
Wait, that's a thing?
It is now.
We didn't know about that scene, so
Right.
it's fine.
Right.
Yes, and the audience. I mean,
Oh, no.
they're a part of this now.
I'm so
Thank
glad.
you.
Yeah, so basically I will describe my thunder wave.
And then we'll
And
do
then
some
we will,
overflows.
and if that's all right with
That
you,
sounds
as
great.
the manager of this mayhem. Yeah, so I come up and I will Elsa stomp the ground.
Yes.
And because
Yeah.
the best. And so I will stomp and it will just reverberate in the sonic wave up my body, and I will just kind of like slam my hand down in a fist and punch forward the sound waves as they kind of connect and coalesce around my fist and then punch outward.
Beautiful, beautiful. This guy is knocked on his butt. This guy is knocked on his butt as well. Do they have knockback as well?
Yeah, they get
right?
moved back.
10 feet?
I'm sorry.
No, you're quite all right. It's 10 feet.
It's 10 feet. They're pushed 10 feet if they failed their saves.
Beautiful. So they're knocked. The one in front of you, like, it blows a hole through it. And its
Yeah.
glass-like pieces fly backwards
Yeah.
and, like, stick into the ground ahead of it, right?
Yeah,
and
take
it
that.
Slides across the ground, making this sound like a steel wheel rolling down concrete. And then
Chaos.
everything happens. So why don't you describe your ultimate?
Oh, right. Oh, no.
Wait,
Oh, no, I don't have
your
one.
ultimate doesn't go.
Yeah.
Batsy's going. Who else is going? I'm so sorry.
You
This
stop.
is doing
That's
it. Me.
What's
Yeah.
your ultimate, Miles?
Oh boy.
Oh no.
She has an ultimate and a dragon. This
Beautiful.
is great.
Beautiful. All right.
Probably fine.
So you knocked them backwards. Do you have any bonus actions? You activated.
My bonus action was activating my turret for those who had lost their 10 hit points. They now have 7.
Beautiful. All right. I'm gonna finish up this and then I'll activate.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Support prize. Support prize.
I would love to.
these two creatures stand up.
Anyone else support prize?
I know, right?
Do you need a support prize before you
He does not need support. He's fine.
That's the point.
I'm all good.
I'm just gonna sit here and eat fried spinach.
Yeah, you know what? All right. So they stand up and realizing that something has changed, that the path that these shadow creatures have taken is not right. They step back and coalesce.
Lots of coalescing.
They're.
One of
Do
them
they
reaches
use
back
something
and
like-
hooks over another one. The other one reaches forward, hooking it
This
up
would be like
and
Power Rangers.
pulling it up on top of itself.
Voltron.
You bet it. Make my creature
Oh
grow.
no.
And because we don't have a mini of this size today, because I didn't know this was happening, they turn into a pint glass of shadow.
Also, I'm thirsty.
That was your glass?
It's
Well,
fine.
they turn into a water bottle of
Oh,
shadow.
thank you.
Oh,
That's so much bigger.
It's fine.
Just do a flask.
Do a barrel roll.
And
Yeah.
like, they coalesce and start like they lose their cohesion as singular things and turn into a kind of goo that like ripples and flows upwards and then grows one arm. It is this huge scythe and another arm that is just this perfectly articulated spiky chain. And two legs form out of each side that have like are like more like broken glass mid-fall than anything else. And they look down at you and scream. And then they swing.
Oh God.
Oh.
The scythe cleaves across all three of you in one swipe. Why don't you all make dexterity saves? Amy, this is the upside of being tiny. Advantage.
But disadvantage because of her plate or chainmail. I have disadvantage
Oh,
too.
you're right. Absolutely. So just roll normally instead of disadvantage.
We're 3 and a 2, so it's probably fine.
Batsy is gonna have to come and save everyone.
Deus Ex Bat, I guess.
Deus Ex Bat is real.
So go to ability saves.
So yeah, your saving throws, dex. So you 20 to miss. Yeah.
4.
You're doing okay. Great. Beautiful.
4 total.
4 total.
Mine was at 14.
14. Fantastic. You succeed. You succeed. You do not.
No. It's fine. I was temporary. It's fine. 6. It's fine.
And the scythe, that's max damage. Now I'm rolling well. Thank you, everyone. You gave me luck as well as chaos.
Thank you so much. Really. From the bottom of my heart, which is now on the floor.
18 damage.
That is.
Oh
dear.
I'm level
That's
3.
crunchy. Yeah, I'm level 3. As it slashes across you, taking like a part of your armor with it, right? I don't like it. That's not fun. Great, beautiful.
Dislike.
Chris, it's your turn.
Okay. Oh my, that's quite a lot. I will turn to Portia, and I will call out to you. Please continue. Get up and fight. Save me from this enormous pile of and he slips and falls and doesn't finish that one. But that is a healing word on
Ooh,
you.
thank
Acceptable.
Yes.
Barely.
I accept.
I'll take it.
Yes.
Lovely.
Which is going to be D4 plus spellcasting mod. That is going to be for you a total of 4 HP back.
I accept.
points.
I'll
We
take
love it.
whatever
Take that
I
healing
can
word.
get.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Anything else?
I then am going to.
Everything you do makes you talk, so you be careful.
I'm just gonna back away.
Just
From the rhyme.
Yep.
Great. Beautiful. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right. Back to Batsy.
We're overflowing.
Who's overflowing?
I don't know what this means.
No one does.
Does Christian Bale just show up?
I don't know.
Why not? Please?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I've just loved him ever since Little Women. I don't know. It's fine.
Okay.
That's besides the point.
Anyways.
You want to
So-
you get Adam West.
That's amazing.
So Batsy is locked in a tailspin of death with
Oh,
this
boy.
dragon, right?
Yep.
And they're like clawing at each other, and Batsy's teeth are bared, and they're like snapping back.
What are they
This
like?
is how you DM. This is all.
Same. Yep.
And all right. What am I gonna do? This is so much. Batsy screams. This like sonic scream that pulses out of her little big batty mouth. And the dragon like recoils in like disgust as its eardrums pop and shatter and blood begins to spill from its ears, and it like pulls away and starts to fall into the blackness below as Batsy spreads her wings and flies back up, screaming a victory call. The swarms of bats return
Fan
to
favorite
Batsy.
Dang.
And you're free of dragon.
Oh, dragon's done?
That's the best thing I have for
you. So amazing. Then I'm gonna move my. Ooh, are we in
Actually,
range?
let me say, is there anything else that you want Batsy to do to end dragon? Let me give you a little bit of control.
Yeah. I think as that scream is happening, it sounds a little bit like Diamonds Are Forever. And it's kind of like shrieking in the air, and it's like, and then
Sure.
and the dragon's like, yeah. But yeah, I'd like to start right towards that thing, and can I move my hunter's mark to that?
It's out of range.
When I get there?
Sure.
Great.
All right, great.
Got a big bat
Beautiful.
flying at it.
Got a big bat flying at it.
Cool.
Amy, you are up when you're ready. What's your question?
Turn the Faithless.
Ooh.
We don't
That
know
sounds
if
very
it,
important.
we don't know if it's Fae or Fiend.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you can
don't
try.
know.
But
You
Yes.
absolutely
You
could
can
try.
certainly-
it's worth a shot. I
You
mean,
could find out a thing for sure.
either that or if this thing has angles, just go ahead and give
Yeah.
it a tiny 2 legs. Like,
Or I can try the Nature Grab again and try it for the next.
I don't know if holding this thing in place is really going to help us all that much. So,
That's also
I mean,
true.
you could try climbing on it.
Did its
Right.
convalescence retain
Yeah.
its very shiny fairy fireness that was on all of them?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you attack, you still have advantage on it.
Okay, let me play that game then, in my tiny state.
Great.
yes.
Fantastic. Beautiful. So what are you doing?
So I'm just looking at this still giant water bottle, or are we going with giant?
Yeah, it's like this big, let's say. Yeah, in terms of scale.
In our minds.
Because I'm just looking for what is going to be the Achilles heel with this thing.
I
Yeah,
would,
what is
I would
this
start with the heel of whatever it is.
Alright, so let's take
Work your way up.
little notches under here. Let me see if I can go under and go hit some things.
So wait, so it's literally a
Yeah,
water
what is
bottle?
this
All right.
Yeah, because I
Everyone,
mean, like-
is it literally a water bottle? Hands up for yes. It's a water bottle.
It's
Okay.
actually a water bottle.
Like that's so much more than my scythe thing. No, it
water bottle
pours
with
Yes,
the
water
water
on
Leslie
you.
has a scythe.
Yes, it's a water
an
bottle
ice
with a
scythe.
scythe.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, ice scythe.
There we go. Absolutely, it's got an ice scythe attached to
time
it.
to
All
be
right.
alive.
So you're going for the notches on the bottom of it.
Yeah,
right?
I'm gonna try for that because
This is so
I'm only a
Weirder
I'm
than
only
I
a
ever
wee
thought.
water bottle compared to this giant water bottle.
Great.
Let me go for it.
Roll for it.
Okay, so I'm rolling.
This episode
Which
is
one
brought
is
to you
closest
by
to you?
water.
This-
Stay
Yeah.
hydrated.
Stay hydrated. 16.
Roll twice. You have
Roll
advantage.
twice.
You might get better.
advantage.
Nope. Let's go with that 16.
Great. What's your
16
total?
plus.
The total is
Plus,
21.
yeah,
21 to
21.
hit.
Beautiful, beautiful. That absolutely hits.
Thank God.
You're gonna roll a d4 because you're tiny.
Aww.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Well, are you doing it double-handed because it's a versatile weapon?
It's still d4.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
it's like.
I didn't know if you're just halving the thing.
No, absolutely. No, she's just small.
Yeah. That's,
The dark
can't-
dice
I can't
in this
see.
light. It's impossible.
What is it?
Feel free to pick it up.
it's a
Three.
it's a 3.
3.
3.
I'm like,
Great.
I can't see
Beautiful.
the purple and the purple
Yeah.
in the darkness.
So you run up screaming the whole way. Its scythe like takes a swipe at you as you're coming by. It absolutely hits. Your armor class is 18?
19.
19. It still manages to hit you.
No. Okay.
I know, right? Brutal. And it does 7 damage to you.
Okay.
But you like doing this much, doing damage to something this small. It like flies right over you, right? And the wind like buffets you and nearly knocks you off your feet. But you keep trucking until you get to the bottom of the water bottle, swing your axe up and into the crevice, and ping! like make a solid hit on it, which makes like this little crack start to form in the side of it, and this like silvery water starts to pour out of it. All right.
Great. I'm ready.
Are you ready? Go for it.
Sure.
I'm sorry, Portia. Whatever you were planning on, you're overflowing.
Then I'm extra ready.
Yeah. Great.
What does it mean?
Hand me your blast.
Okay. Oh, here they are. For
And
you.
now, when I jumped the gun earlier, now you can describe it.
Sure.
Your superpower.
My superpower
As
is
we're
being
told.
able to immediately invent something that coalesces and comes to life for a one-time use. So what is the enemy of water bottles? Their truest foe. I must name it.
A giant puppy.
Yes. Yes.
That's a
That.
lot. Yeah, so no. We all know it's a cat. When you leave your water bottle open next to your couch, what does your cat
Anything.
do?
It's gonna
Yeah,
slide
anything.
with it.
Yeah, that cat,
Really?
my cat at least,
Yeah.
is a real
Yeah.
beep bop boop. But I'm just bleeping myself.
Yeah.
So basically, seeing this water bottle and going, I at least know what your true foe is, and I shall name you Cat. And I put out my claws, and from within my body, in sort of like pixelated forms, like it starts to coalesce in magical pixels in front of me. This mechano cat, the whole cat, and the cat looms up above us, towering at the same height as this, because we need more pets.
We definitely do.
It's YOLO. So, and the cat reaches out and will try to swipe with advantage at the water bottle.
That sounds fair to me.
What if chaos also accompanies this?
Oh, it's overflow.
Oh, you're right. It's overflow. What chaos are we going to suffer from? I
Cats
love
and
this
bats.
so much. Cats and bats, so my! Oh goodness, we already did that one. Re-rolling. Okay.
Oh,
All right.
Oh, no.
Beautiful. So the cat like emerges into life and kind of looks at the
It
water
looks
bottle.
a little bit like Dot.
Perfect. I love that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Aw.
Cyberdot emerges on the far side
With
of
like
the
a
water bottle.
gemstone.
Yeah.
What kind of
Yeah.
gemstone?
Oh, a peridot.
Oh.
A peridot
Yeah.
gemstone in its forehead and looks very
Peridot.
distastefully. Peridot?
I've
Yeah.
heard it both ways.
Peridot.
And that just fits so much better.
Yeah.
Both of them. Oh,
There it is.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
I did it!
Oh,
Yay.
And looks very disdainfully at the water bottle and reaches out one massive paw and just begins to slide it. And the water bottle, if a water bottle could panic, the safe begins to rotate and flash, trying to reach behind it, but it only thought it would have to fight in one way. And it begins to slide and falls off the edge. It's scythe just reaching out and hooking on the edge of the catwalk as it begins to manufacture another arm to try to get itself
Great.
up.
So now my
And the
turn.
cat looks at
right?
you
Oh no, hello.
and
Oh.
goes, and your hair
Oh no.
begins to grow.
Oh.
Just grow and grow, and it's very appropriate with your Rapunzel dress on because it keeps going until
no.
it's flowing around your feet.
Is it prehensile though? What are we talking?
No.
Okay. It's just hair.
It's
Got
just
it.
hair. Your next
Noted.
convention can be prehensile hair.
Yeah.
Cool. So just tons and tons
What
of like
color is
teal.
Portia's hair?
So I would say it's teal to like white.
Teal to
So
white.
it just like more and more teal just comes out, and it's great because we live in a magical world now where roots are not a thing. I don't have to worry about it.
It's true.
And that's my rule because it's my imagination. That's what's happening. That's my dream.
All right.
I want to live there. So now for my
Right.
turn,
Yes.
I will now. I pre-rolled so as not to waste your time. Activated this again because I am Hort, as they say, I've given myself and anyone else within 10 feet of it. So you, if you do you still have temporary HP left over?
Yes.
Okay, then you don't get it, but I get 10 because
Yeah.
I'm the best.
Yeah, great.
And
I'm the best.
because I'm the best, and I will also, as it reaches out that other talon, I'm gonna take my wand and roll with advantage for a firebolt.
Go for it, yeah. Oh, that's a 1 and a 2?
No, it's a
It's a
plus 5.
What is with 5s today?
It's fine. I summoned a giant cat thanks to the power of friendship.
Yay!
So it bounces off and goes wide as the hook. grabs on.
Fantastic. Yeah, absolutely. Reflects off of the ice and flies off. So this thing attempts, it's like beginning to climb up, and as it does, it's water bottle itself peeking over the top.
It is very intimidating.
A third, like, appendage strikes out from the back of it, straight at. You know what? I'm gonna roll to see who it attacks. At you, Anne.
Who's Anne?
Oh my God! At you, Portia. There goes my dice.
Oh no. But that's what hit me.
It rolled well. That's a hit. I'm
Cool.
sorry.
That's fine. I just did stuff.
I just did stuff. Oh, but that's minimum damage. 5 damage.
I can take
Beautiful. As it like slashes just like barely across the shield that your construct has created. Beautiful. Donovaine.
All right. Donovaine is going to reach into his component pouch. He is going to pull out a tiny feather and a little bag of tarts. It's bar time! He points at the giant bottle with the feather, waves in its direction, and goes, I think it is time to bring an end to this play. For you, giant bottle, it is recycling day.
Oh my God.
Tasha's making us laugh.
All right. What number am I trying to
It is
get?
a
over?
wisdom 12.
I love it.
It succeeded. Now, here's the thing. You have that little
I do.
Flasky flask.
flask of flask.
You
Do
can
you want to
succeed.
burn that?
To force the failure?
Yeah.
Yep, we're going to do that.
Please don't drink it. Now that we know that they're gross, I'm just.
There was a drink in my hand. I wanted to do it. No, fair. I forgot about that.
All right.
I
So
don't learn
invested.
lessons.
Beautiful. So the water bottle, arcing up, turns to you and sees the tarts and like kind of its cap like, and then sees your feather and sees you talking, and it starts to laugh, which is more like this burbling kind of like brook. It's like a waterfall having a bad day, right? As it falls tumbling down into the abyss,
Yay.
splitting into the million pieces as it falls. And then in comes Batsy, who lands. The water bottle. And with him comes Egglark, who lands and says, "Oh, that went well. What happened here?
Where were you?
We were fighting the dragon. Where were you? What happened here?"
Things.
There was shadow, and then there was fungus, and then I did a lot of things. And this is awesome, honestly.
Great. I'm gonna go look at this infection.
Also, ow.
Are you okay?
Not quite. There's a lot of, and as like the conversation goes
Yeah.
on, my like little turret begins to wilt, and I go from looking all right to looking pretty savaged.
Yeah,
4 hit points
absolutely.
left.
Yeah, you like your armor is cut off, and there's this like huge gash across your chest, right? And the blood is like mixing with your clothes. And he says, "Oh, I'm so sorry. You did. The rest of you came out mostly okay."
Small.
Tiny Paladin, and he says, "Here, let me fix that." He pulls out a potion and hands it to you. You drink it.
Good year.
Good year. It tastes like cherry cordial on a summer day, right? Actually, you know what? I take that back. That's not how I
Like
want
Lucy's
that.
special cordial in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe?
Oh, that's really sweet. But no, it
Okay.
doesn't.
Okay, just checking.
No more Narnia.
No, it tastes the way that summer wind would taste. It tastes the way that the hot breath of your favorite pet on like the back of your neck feels. Right? It's like comforting and warming. Someone's like, I don't like that. So Anne likes it, but that's not how it tastes for you. And he hands another potion to you. And you go swimming.
I was like, is it like giant? Am I like Alice in Wonderland?
It's exactly like that.
That
Yes.
water bottle
Yeah,
was
drink
so
me on
big
it.
to you.
Oh my god.
And you slowly start to recover your size bit by bit by bit. Your hair, I don't know what to do about that.
I like have been looking around and I suddenly realized like I can't get I'm kind of tied myself into like a little hair burrito.
Oh no.
So I begin unwinding myself.
Absolutely.
Got that burrito.
Like,
Yeah.
you want a bad wax? You need a haircut?
Well, I mean, I prefer a stylist, but I mean, sure.
Is there a stylist?
I'm not. I don't.
Yeah, you have knives.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Go.
I mean, hard to work with like this thing going on.
Can you fix that?
Yeah, I forgot about
It's kind of
that.
like, I guess last an hour. I don't know.
No, he's stuck that way for a little while.
Yeah.
I mean,
really?
get creative. It'll grow back,
I mean,
right?
I could try and style your hair with my bat hands if you like, using a
Very
sword.
unique.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
you should say, like, who did your hair? The bad guy.
Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah. That guy over there.
I like it. I like it.
That guy over there, yeah, that works.
You never know. You might find a new hobby.
I really want to hang upside down right now. I just have a really strong urge to do that.
Well, you're on a suspended bridge,
Yeah,
so
there are options here.
Haircut?
haircut first.
Haircut,
Would be
yeah.
great.
What do I
And
roll?
mobility.
Yeah, let's roll for this. Let's
Yeah.
do that. That sounds like a good
Haircut,
idea.
getting makeover.
Makeover
Roll
montage.
for haircut.
Let's make a dexterity. Another 5!
Again.
Get new dice!
What's going on?
It's like
Oh,
Ariel
boy.
when Scuttle is like, you look sensational. Like, it's so
Yeah.
bad.
Okay, in my defense, 7 total. Using
Okay.
bat hands.
Yeah. So for
So,
back hands, good
with the
haircut.
sword.
I mean,
Just gonna whack, just like chop,
Right.
chop.
So you have a cut.
It's asymmetrical.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
Maybe
That's
more
great.
than style would demand.
Right. Fantasy
beautiful.
hair.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Portia.
And you all wander over
Yeah.
to this like mess of lichen, which is mostly buried underneath your like vines that you created, right? Which now have spawned like a bunch of tiny flowers that like are growing in between them, and are already covered in moss. And he like kind of reaches down and looks at it and pokes at it just gently, and it like comes away with him and starts to spread up his fingers and like pulls grave dirt from his bag and wipes it off and drops it back into itself. And he says, "This is not good. I don't know what this is. I've never seen anything like it."
So that's not just like a Monday night normally here.
No. It's been 100 years of peace. And I mean peace. Little skirmishes with the Drow to the north. But
You're welcome.
it's not you.
Sorry.
You're not from here. And the Drow have their own needs. I don't know. I don't know how we're going to deal with this or address it. We'll have to talk with the guilds about it, and that'll be a headache. The guilds run the city. They control all the trade and commerce, and they provide for everyone. Can I answer any other questions for you?
Yes, you have one of those potions that could be mine. I'm really running out of ways to rhyme.
Yeah. I release you from your burden. At long last.
Yes. Amazing.
And, does the tree still work? Can it send us home still?
Yes, it should be able to. Would you like to try?
Okay,
Perhaps we should make. Something is going on. Your arrival coinciding with this chaos has to mean something. So, let's say I will bring this issue and your presence before the guild, and we'll have you back in a week.
But how will we know if it's a
Yeah.
week, if it's the time is all limway?
Use your will, and it should work. Wait a week out there, will a week into being here, and we'll do our best.
And that's all anybody can really do.
I know!
Yeah. No,
You don't want us
that's
to
real.
go to the guilds?
No.
Okay.
No,
I mean,
I don't want
shot
anyone
down.
to have to go to the guild. They're a little controlling and intense. But who's that?
Yeah, I don't think he gets that reference.
Yeah,
So do we just come back to Stone Street?
I don't know what's on the other side of the tree. Not really.
Do you know if we have to be in the same location, or can we just will ourselves back here from anywhere?
You have to go through the tree.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
Try.
Gladly.
Okay.
And we'll try to envision the stone streets back in New York.
Yeah.
And we'll try to envision himself appearing back in New York.
Are you doing it?
You tell me. I'm trying.
Are you, is he doing it yet?
You're still here, guys.
Maybe try. Maybe try.
I think we
Let
need
me
to
try
be. Let's get
I'll
closer.
do the-
Oh,
just click the things. Click.
Wait.
Click. Click.
Because there was like a gust of wind that took us here with wings, and we've got wings for
Yes,
days.
clap, clap,
So
clap,
we're just
clap
gonna
at me, clap at me,
everybody,
clap at me, yes.
like
No.
Bat Swarm, me, Batsy, we're all just gonna
Right,
clap
bat
at you.
swarm. I forgot about the bat
Yeah,
swarm.
they
They're
landed
there.
too. They landed too. We're just kind of.
So I'll go
reunion.
ahead
Just
and
Guano falling in rain from underneath the couch.
with my magical tinkering, I'll grab some bits and bobs and begin creating basically let's say, what should they be? Tiny little like trees that I set at the bottom of or no, it's a tiny little cauldron like what we saw of
Yeah.
the door. And it kind of the door starts rotating and turning, the vines mechanically start weaving their way around, and I just kind of like place it on the side of the tree, close my eyes, and it starts emitting the odors and the sounds and kind of like creating the sense memory of when we were sucked
So cool.
through with magical tinkering.
Oh, that's really, really cool.
I like that.
So you like sit there and you're like focusing
Yeah,
and nothing happens.
cool. It's really cool though. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
awesome. Can I keep that?
Sure, I guess.
Maybe we just need to make it a bit more New Yorky. Try peeing on it.
Who hurt you?
That's my first impression.
Should we go? Why don't we try to go back through the door itself?
Maybe go back to where you came in?
Yeah.
Okay, let's try that. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right. So you guys all return
Yeah.
up to the cauldron.
I will
Walking
try
upstairs.
squeezing this bat swarm and gigantic dragon-sized Dame Shirley
I just
Batsy.
imagine you beginning a Batman movie rising into the air and Stone Street and being like, at last,
Yeah.
I am as I was always meant to be.
So as you approach the cauldron, Batsy actually starts to shrink
Oh,
down
fantastic.
to normal Batsy size for this place.
Yeah.
And he's able to come in. She's able to come in. Excuse me for misgendering your bat. And you come inside, right? You go upstairs. Copper's like waiting for you. Like that was amazing. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're quite welcome. It was fairly amazing, wasn't it?
I would say it was nothing, but it was kind of a lot.
I freed him.
Yeah.
I'm glad you like that as much as I did.
Right, Do we know if the Digen is still out there?
The what?
The Digen? The demon pigeon?
Oh.
Where?
You know, the thing that
In New
like...
York.
Yeah, the
That
mountain.
was a valid question. I mean,
The magic mountain.
I
Yeah.
assume we need to go back and check. Why don't you go first and find out?
Well, No. But yes, I'm still like Batty, so why not?
That would be a fascinating
I
experiment.
would assume when we go back.
Ooh, that's a good point.
Well, only one way to find out.
Do we have to go back?
You'll be yourselves.
Will we?
Your other selves. You should be.
Should. Very convincing.
You know?
I'm sorry. I'm
No.
sorry. I have no reassurance right
She
now.
kind of just like crosses her arm and holds on to her too. Amazing. Anyways, she kind of crosses her arms and like
I
kind of sadly holds on to her.
You don't have to go if you don't want to.
I don't really have much to go back to right now.
All right. Portia will stay.
Tell me, what passes for entertainment around this area? Do you have theatre?
Yes.
Excellent. I think I'll stay.
Oh, perfect.
I haven't.
Well, do we have pay? What's minimum wage like here?
Why are you setting your sights so low?
I mean, I don't. Look, I'm just saying they can get somebody else to handle the books and the bats, but you know, I need somewhere to live here if I'm gonna stay.
I mean, we are heroes now. We just saved their tree. I'm sure they'll happily put us up for some sort of reward for doing so, correct?
Find you somewhere to sleep. The Cauldron
That'd
also
be
has
great.
in rooms.
Hey,
Oh, see, there we go.
Okay, cool. Then I guess I can hang out for a little bit.
Your grandmother.
my mom.
You
Yeah,
can
your
go
mom.
back and come. I mean, we'll be here.
But what happens if something happens?
Sure, you'll know. That's how it works in these stories, right? You'll know somehow.
There appears to have been a great deal of talk of how things are meant to be, and prophecies and things happening after thousands of years. I would argue that if this is indeed real and not some bad sushi dream, then if you are meant to return, you will return.
So I have a question.
Once a king or queen in Narnia.
Always a king or queen in Narnia.
Yes.
You said there have been beings that have traveled from the other world before, or it seems like there have been beings from the
Yes.
other worlds. Do you think that I could find someone or find lore to see if I could get that and grab it before I come back next time?
In the other side?
Yeah.
Ooh, check into David Bowie. That's,
Good call.
yeah.
Yeah.
Solid.
Probably,
Yeah.
probably a good thing.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But more
I
importantly,
don't know.
Are there names or lore that I could take back with me
People
and
who went
look
back.
into?
All the ones I know are dead. It's been a long time.
Oh boy.
You know what? Intuition check.
what does that mean? What is she rolling? Intelligence?
No, intuition. Am I
That's
saying it
not a
wrong
thing.
still?
Insight, is that what you-
Insight.
Insight.
Insight, yes.
I'm in Shadowrun
Insight, so you got
again.
+1 on that.
Thank God. Ah, that's a 4.
You still have your inspiration.
Oh, I do.
Roll
So
that
that
So
will
roll
give
an
me,
additional
D6.
D6
Gotta
add that to
roll
that.
that D6.
Wait, do I know?
You do. It's a D, sir.
Okay, it's so 4.
So,
So the
8 plus your
four,
charisma?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or plus your wisdom? rather?
Wisdom, yeah.
yeah, so which is a +1.
Well, yeah, so,
So
a big
9.
stand, so 8.
8.
9, right? Because you rolled 4.
It is
Yes,
9 also.
yes,
We're all
yes.
good. I swear we can math sometime.
Can we all roll inside on this since we're all part of the conversation?
You know what? Roll with advantage considering how everyone else is here.
There you go.
Go for you. Yeah. Cool. Cool.
Okay.
No better. No better. All right. So he seems very certain of
Yes.
this, right?
Okay.
And but also like saddened. He wishes that he could tell you more.
I mean, if we can go through, I mean, if something happens here, one of us can go get you. Just tell us where to find you, and we'll come back together.
Yeah.
That's reasonable.
She's your mom. This is some magical, crazy destiny BS, but she's your mom, and that's important.
Yeah, I need to just at least make sure she's okay.
Yeah.
But you said you worked at a library.
I do, yes.
Are
Yep.
there any restricted sections that need to have some lore?
You know what? I could check about restricted section books on places where you can bite dragons and have really long hair. Yep.
Worth a shot.
That's what you remember?
Out of all everything.
That's your
Everything.
takeaway?
Yep.
If this is gonna take a week, let me go back, let me check on my mom,
Yeah.
let me do some digging and see if I can find some history on like this cauldron.
Yeah, sure.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I have a feeling my research is going to be better spent here so I can understand what we're dealing with
Great.
from this side.
So how are you trying to return?
So I'm going to go to the, I guess, tree, the vine of the tree, and kind of just place my hand on it, close my eyes, and think back to the weird performer bat guy, and the sounds and the smells of New York, and just close my eyes and think of that,
Beautiful.
and hope that I return.
The weight of the tree presses into you, right? And it's like cool bark you feel underneath your fingertips. And as your focus increases, right, you kind of feel it like moving away from you and you start to follow it. And then suddenly it falls away from in front of you and you open your eyes and you're in a room, a different room, but the same room at the same time, but behind you is a fake tree that stands, reaching up towards the second floor, right? And behind you is a spigot that pours out liquid onto the ground, like it still was back in the other world, and someone is trying to fix it in a black shirt, desperately, glasses on, he's standing right over there. And he says, "Oh, you're early. We were not open yet. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize I hadn't locked the door."
Oh, no worries. Sorry. I just out of curiosity, how long have you guys been here?
We've been here for a long time.
Is there any history on this building or the cauldron that I could read about?
Not that I know of, no.
They kind of take a look around, and I'm like, all right, thank you.
Thank you. Come back at... What time do you guys open?
11.
11.
That-
Come back at 11. And you walk out into the day, which is remarkably sunny. Just a little bit of briskness of fall blowing by. And the wind sweeps underneath your feet, and you feel a whisper of something lost or found. And that's us. For tonight. Thank you all so much for coming. That was a pleasure. So, I do this professionally. I'm a professional dungeon master, so if you guys want to book me, I do a $100 3-hour session with a group of you and your friends that is like a beginner game, right? To like figure out if we're the right group for each other, roll characters together, learn the rules, etc., etc., etc. If you know how to play, we'll get to play more, etc. So you can book games with me at bookagamewithmiles@gmail.com. Talk to me after if you're curious.
Question,
Yeah.
Miles, do you do that on Roll20 or other online resources?
Absolutely do. Yeah. I have a space to host, and I can move as well and
Awesome.
travel. I have this big bag that I'll show off later.
Yay,
I
bag.
also stream 5 days a week on twitch.tv/geeksforgood, which is my charity variety channel. So check that out as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Miles. And thank you again for coming. We really appreciate it. We do have for all of you here, if you still have favor tokens left over, we have claims so that if you come back on another night, you can start out ahead with all of the favor you have left over. So please see one of us, I think Anna, on the way out to register all of your favor. Please come back and see us again.
Yeah.
You can also find us at twitch.tv/ActivePlayerNetwork. We would love to have you, even in virtual space, if you can't make it for another chapter in this crazy adventure we call Casters and Cantrips. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a good night.
Good night, everybody.